Hey, by the way, what happened with you and Gene Simmons?
Oh, that asshole.
Boy. All I know is I was getting phone calls all night long from you, Ben Steve.
Laughing his ass off.
Really? That's surprising. Gene, what?
Gene blew him off.
What happened? Gene Simmons. We just had him on the show, a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
I'm in a bathroom. All right, granted, that's a little bit creepy. I'm in a bathroom, and I see him, and he walks in the men's room at the Venetian. So he walks by, I go, hey, Gene, and he goes, hello, and of course he doesn't look. He just keeps going straight. Again, he's a rock star. I don't blame him. I wouldn't look at me either in the men's room. I decide to wait outside, say hello real quick, and his security notices me kind of lurking there with Steve. So Gene walks out, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm on the Opie Anthony show. You just called in last week, and he's like, all right. And he just won't even look. He just walks right by.
Wow.
And,
Steve, were you there when he got blown off by Gene Simmons?
Yeah, we both did. We both got totally blown off in a really condescending... I forgot.
Yes, you did.
Oops. It was just, he's, like Jimmy said, he's walking into the bathroom. I was the first one out. I said, oh, hey, Gene Simmons. He said, oh, hi, how you doing? And as Jimmy came out, we waited. We were going to talk to him. And it was just so goddamn dismissive and condescending. And we totally explained who we were, exactly who we were, mentioned the fact that he was on the show. We just wanted to talk to him. And his response was, that's nice for you. I have to go.
And he goes, and then he had to leave, and he goes, oh, Opie and Anthony, I might see those guys later. And I'm like, all right, can I just get a quick picture with you? He's like, no, I'm really running late. He goes, you can walk with me if you want. So I start walking with him to get the picture, and then Yoshi is just backing up and like trying to take. All he had to do was stop, for 1 second, and he wouldn't stop or look at me. So fuck you, Gene.
Ooh. Oh, hey, relax.
Oh, that really annoyed me.
He was one of your heroes growing up.
He was one of my heroes
when
growing
you were
up.
Jimmy Robinson.
Sorry, I wasn't hawking a Kiss keychain, motherfucker.
It wasn't just a setup to maybe coddle you a little later?
Oh, did he annoy me. Every bit of loyalty I had for him went out the window, and I wanted to spit on him. I was so aggravated.
Wow.
How many bad people bashed him, called in, trashing him, and like an asshole, I defended him.
You did.
Time and time again. And he doesn't need me to defend him. He's a billionaire. It's not going to change. But it just really, really annoys me. Look, I'm not anywhere near that level of fame, but I've taken enough fan pictures to know that you can stop for 1 second.
A second.
Disinterested shithead.
Wow. It was
6'3" in your dark Undertaker suit. That stupid straight ahead look on your face. We get it. You're a genius. We get it.
You have really turned.
I can't tell you.
Picture.
I am so tired. Yeah, but you know what? It was. Steve was right. I understood he was busy and he had to leave. Dude, I didn't expect a 40-minute photo shoot, but he knew that we were talking about being on the show and we're members of the show, and he could have just stopped for 1 second and taken that picture. He didn't give a shit.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't have anything to sell for you.
That's what it was. It wasn't advantageous to him to stop for a second. There was nothing in it for him to stop, Jimmy.
God, that made me sick to my stomach. And De Niro, your last 3 movies have sucked dick.
Yeah.
Anyone who didn't take pictures with me.
Over $200 million.
I'm not talking about this.
Crap,
I'm not talking about the Fockers. Just the other stuff he's done has stunk.
Just goes to show you more sheep in this country.
But have you seen the movie?
Just get online. I've seen the ads. I've seen the trailers.
Dude,
I've seen Barbara Streisand. Yes, I know it stinks. They got the same jokes from the first movie. Same gags.
How do you know? You haven't really
because
seen
I
the
saw
movie.
the trailer. They put the good stuff in the trailer to try to get the people there. And if that's the good stuff, please.
Third week in a row that it was #1 at the box office.
#1, making hundreds of millions of dollars, and it just looks ridiculous. Barbara Streisand, stop it. Ugh.
I saw it. It's more of the same jokes. He's right.
It's the same movie.
All right.
The same stupid jokes, and the people keep just flocking to that thing.
Speaking of Gene Simmons.
Well, we have the Kiss keychain, we have the Kiss coffin, we have the Kiss hat. We get it, shithead.
Dude, but he was one of your heroes.
Dude, he was a childhood idol. 30 years I've been a fan.
This is all it takes to turn you?
No. I've been turned out. It wasn't that. It was the attitude. It was this smugness, and it just made me sick. It made me sick. And also my own nonsense has made me sick.
Too good.
My own defending this asshole when people would call in and smash him on the air.
You feel like a used whore.
And again, he asked me to do nothing. That's my own fault. I'm not blaming him for that. And I realize he's one of the biggest rock stars on the planet. I don't expect a guy to stop and chit-chat with every mope like myself.
If you're walking next to him and someone's in front of him with a camera.
And he told me you could walk with me, and he knew I was from the Opie Anthony show, and he knew he had just called in, and we had interviewed him. That's what the problem was.
Did he get a walking action shot?
No, Yoshi tried, but it wouldn't flash. And I finally said, Yoshi, I'm not going to beg him. Fuck this. And we stopped.
Wow.
And then the complaining began.
Oh, I can't tell you how aggravating that was.
He lamented about this for a good 3-4 hours after the fact.
I was
just
hot.
obsessed over it.
I was pissed off, man. Really pissed off. I'm really doing what? What are you busy doing?
All right.
Certainly not creating a good record in the last 15 years. What are you busy doing? Another rap video, perhaps? Firestarter? Fuck you.
Just because you didn't get a picture.
Dude, I can't tell you how much that aggravated me.
All right.
Maybe you can. This is how annoying he is. He has to go to Australia to find a room full of people who want to hear him babble for 30 minutes. More about your philosophy on life. Well, I think that you shouldn't get married. That's easy to say if you're a bassist in a multi-billion-dollar rock band, stupid. Most people don't have those options.
True. Gotta agree with
But he would defend all this if he got his picture. That's what amazing.
I know I'm a phony. I know. This just believe me. That's why I just attacked De Niro in his shit movies. I'm tired of being nice to these celebrities. I'm tired of it. It kind of made me realize what a worm I am sometimes.
What a worm you are. I know. Yeah.
All right. Well, what is this audio you got in front of me here?
This is now, is Vanity a friend of yours, Jim? That's what I wasn't clear on. Did you know Vanity from before?
Just from AVN, I know Vanity, but I like Vanity.
Vanity's a transsexual that we met while we were at the AVN Expo, and apparently there was a story that we got from Joey Silvera, who we had lunch with, that Gene Simmons had hit on Vanity, this transsexual, and there was a whole story that he tried to get Vanity alone in his hotel room. And so we got Vanity alone in a room and asked her, is it proper to call?
It's him. So. It's got a con.
No, it's a her. If you see her, it's a her.
The most convincing transsexual I have ever seen in my life, except for the penis. And
did you see the penis?
Yeah, we got we got video of how to tuck a penis back.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
these guys were in heaven for 3 days. I mean, that's all I got to tell you, man. These guys.
We got the whole visual on how a transsexual tucks the penis behind the legs, and it was just the most absurd video.
Oh. When is all this video going to start making its way up on the website?
I'll start cutting it up this afternoon.
All right.
But
you got video of our new gag, by the way?
The Jimmy thing, yeah.
All right, you got to get video of our new gag so people at home can understand it and play along when we do it from time to time.
And do you have any audio of Firestarter? Maybe we could put that on and all dance and cross over to another market.
Yeah, it's in Delet. Daryl did it.
All right, listen. So here's the story, I guess, that she told.
Yes.
It's Vanity.
Vanity.
This is Vanity, last year's Transsexual Performer of the Year at AVN. Nominated again, and she should certainly win. And what happened with you and Gene Simmons blew me off today like a real asshole. What happened with you and he last year?
I was walking with my ex-boyfriend, and he asked me to go and like tap on his shoulder, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that because I don't like to impose on anybody, but I was like, okay, fine. So I went over there, and I'm like, hey, what's up, Gene? I'm a fan. My name is Vanity, and it's the trip because I just saw one of your films with the original Vanity, the Prince Vanity, and he was like, oh my God, yeah, I know her, and I said, well, you know what, I'm transsexual, you know, and he was like, what? You're the fucking best transsexual I've ever seen. And he was like, no fucking way, and he was with this girl, I don't know if it's his wife or girlfriend, and he was like, come back up to the hotel with us, to the room with us, and I was like, yeah, you know, and then my ex-boyfriend came up to him, and he's like, hey, can I get a picture with you and Vanity? He was like, get the fuck away from me, you know, and I was like, that's my friend, that's Doug, that's my friend, he's with me. He's like, oh, I don't give a fuck, I just want you here, I don't want anybody else around here, no fucking pictures. And then like, I was like, okay, whatever, I don't know if I want to hang out with this guy, you know? And he's like, give me your number. So I wrote it down, and I was handing it to him, and the girl or wife, whatever, she just like snatched it from my hand and took it from me. So I don't know what happened from there. I guess she just didn't want him, you know, involved with me because I'm transsexual. Because she was like, oh my God, if people are getting this, you know, recording this, then you could get in so much trouble, Gene, da da da. But, you know, he definitely wanted some, that's for sure.
Wow.
For sure. Like it just sounds like a guy trying to put on a girl voice. I'm sorry. You hear occasionally, you get that yodel thing where it gets back into the male voice.
Yeah, if you're just going on the audio, it does sound very masculine. But you know what? Visually,
that audio, I was like Mr. Edison's talking machine. Was that recorded on?
It was recorded on a little one of those
a foil disc
dictating machine.
Really hard.
We put.
What I did was incorporate this wax disc on this needle. And what you do is you talk into this, I call it a microphone.
Jesus.
Well, that's
The
because
hell, what kind of recording device is that?
That's because just before we flew to Vegas, I go, Steve, you got anything to record audio on? And he goes, no. I go, well, don't you think it would be a good idea? So he went to Radio Shack and got this cheap little thing.
It wasn't cheap, but it was the best one they had, and it's one of those little digital dictating machines. And it doesn't help that there's 8,000 people talking in the room around you when you're doing this.
Mary had a little lamb, his fleece was white as snow.
Oh, my goodness.
So there you go.
Oh yeah,
And that was the transsexual.
I guess the point is, if
Very
I was wearing
hot.
a dress, Gene would have been happy to invite me to his room.
Is that clip kind of telling us that Gene's a cocksucker? Is that what it?
No, I don't know.
no, I
Don't say that at all. No, I don't.
Is that what you're trying to say, Jimmy?
No.
Your hero?
He certainly acts like one. But
He was
no,
your
I don't
hero
think-
before he decided not to have a picture with you?
His cockiness really just sickened me, and the listeners that were trashing him were right, and I was wrong for defending him. Since my Dell desktop has been out of commission for probably 2 months now, and they promised me a new one a month ago, and I still haven't gotten
boy.
it. Of course, I'm
I
gonna
hear
use the
Gene
laptop.
Simmons runs that company, Dell.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe I could. What's the word you get? Copyright the little money bag symbol. Ugh. Ugh.
Just because he didn't take a picture.
No, not just
You
because-
can't turn on one of your heroes because he wouldn't give you a picture.
Yes, you can. First of all,
You would defend all this stuff, though.
I would defend it, but not the arrogance behind it, and not knowing when we'd hawked product for him when he called in a month ago, and I wasn't asking to hang out and do an
Dude,
interview.
Hey,
Come
that's
on.
right. We did.
Do you
hawk
honestly
product.
think that we're all friends?
That is business?
We
though.
do a radio show. We invite someone like Gene Simmons on to give us some good radio, and in return, he'll promote some crap.
One hand
That's
washes
what
the
it
other.
is. And when it comes down to it, as soon as these mics are off and he hangs up the phone, he could care less about us, and quite frankly, we could care less about him.
Understandable, but is that really good radio? That stupid audio we played, and him sitting in front of a room full of people who are just so happy to be in the room with him, not realizing that the content is boring,
Right.
and tedious and pompous.
I think he's absolutely right. I think Jimmy's right.
I am right. It's sickening, and again, his level of fame is in a stratosphere I'm never going to hit.
He
I
gave us
understand
good
that.
radio that day with
I'm
the
not saying
Apprentice
he,
girls.
I know he did. Well,
It was kind of fun.
Yeah, I know. He's a pompous ass,
All right.
sitting there with his
Yes,
legs
he is.
crossed. We
Let's
get it.
go to Iowa and say hi to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, little Jimmy, do you have fun out in Vegas?
I did, with the exception of that last little incident, Jeremy. But thanks for asking. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I don't blame you.
I'm sorry. I've never done it. The ex-singer of Kiss singer says she is suing rocker Gene Simmons, VH1, for slander. Do anyone know who that is?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
in
I
the
just-
paper today, actually.
Yeah, I'll get
If
the
you
article.
decide to,
Oh, and a
to
big
read it.
smile came on Jimmy's face.
Yeah.
Good, that ass.
Let's see. Gabe from happyanarchy.com. I learned today when little Jimmy dies from AIDS, he's going to be buried in a kiss casket. What?
Oh. No, probably not.
No, I'm sure they'd try to put me in the coffin. It would just look straight ahead and ignore me. Douchebag. Douchebag.
Well, here we go. Here's Leroy Wells from 2 nights ago on American Idol. Listen to this guy.
Hey, Leroy, what's up?
Can you dig? It's this way right here, baby.
Yeah, come on up.
Where you going, dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
So that Michael Jackson, I'm talking about, hey, baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Hey, can you dig?
Wait, slow down. What?
That is great.
Oh,
Dude,
and
that
he's stomping and clapping and singing.
if we play that 10 times this morning, it would be stuck in your head, and it just is very catchy, no?
It kinda
hey,
is.
Hey,
I'll give him that, but
What's
he looked like a
money?
lunatic crackhead on stage.
Yeah, he definitely had a little crack look to him.
Figure stupid Gene had to open his mouth and spoil it. Douchebag.
Oh, Gene, the worst celebrity judge they've ever had.
Of course he is.
Yeah, I went back way too far, sorry.
Wow.
Hey, Leroy, what's up?
To the beginning.
I know.
1-0.
Sorry.
It's this way right here, baby.
Yeah, come on up.
Where you going, dog?
Why not just play Ecstasy of Gold?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that Michael Jackson, I'm talking about, hey, baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Hey, can you dig it?
Wait, slow down. Why don't you introduce us? What's your name?
Okay, my name is Leroy Wells, and I sand blades and paint for a living at the shipyard with my dad.
What?
Man, baby.
Wait, Leroy, you got to start again.
Yeah.
I sand blades and paint.
Sandblast paint.
Yes, sir.
What's
Sandblast and paint what?
It's shrimp boat.
Sandblast-
It's about a battery. You know what about a battery? It's a shrimp boat. It's real slow like. It's country, and we ain't making no money, so y'all need to put me on TV. Can you dig it?
We can dig it.
But wait a minute, dog.
Wait, come back.
Dog.
I play the drums, the keyboard, anything. I'm a musician, you feel me?
You're a
But see,
musician.
I got to get y'all crunk so y'all can feel me.
Yo, man, but we need to get crunk like that.
Right there. Look, see. White teeth. White
And then you got your crunk. Put your crunk here. Look
Now,
at
nigga,
your
they hear that crunk.
Oh, those aren't your
Sounds
teeth.
like county lockup. What the hell was he yapping about?
Sounds like that scene from Airplane, that old movie.
I speak jive. Unbelievable. That guy was off.
And Randy's saying dog. He has the hip factor of Noah. That's
Oh,
just
I know.
awful. There's nothing tough about you, stupid.
Dog. Yeah, let's not forget he was the stand-in bass player in Journey
Who was?
years ago. What's his name?
Randy?
Randy Jackson.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Randy Jackson was the replacement bass player in Journey when they booted out their original bass player.
And his name
Ross
was?
Valerie, I think it was.
Oh, you know the name.
bass
Damn
player.
it. I was
Yeah.
going to challenge you there. And
Oh,
my
believe
answer
me,
would
with
have
my
been
brother in the Journey cover band, I know all about Journey. More than I'd ever want to know.
All right, now here's more of Leroy Wells singing some James Brown here eventually.
Oh, he got his crunk
1,
on.
2, 3. Hey, baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Hey, can you dig it? Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Hey, baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Hey, baby, I got
Okay, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's catchy as hell.
Catchy. Get him off.
It's catchy.
The guy wouldn't shut up. No one could understand what the hell he was saying. And they entertained him much too long.
Wasn't it Baby, I Got Your Money? That's what you want to hear from a black guy.
Oh, this is the real one?
Oh, I like Leroy's version better. This song stinks. He makes it cool. Good pickup though, Derek. Very good. Who did that originally? Is it really a Michael Jackson song?
What is it?
Old Dirty Bastard. Okay. No, doesn't Leroy say I'm going to do some Michael Jackson for you?
Yeah, but what the hell is he saying?
Back to the audio.
I can, you dig it. And then I'm say, thank you, Jesus. Because you got to put Jesus first. If you don't, you ain't going to do nothing.
Tell Simon Cowell he's got to put Jesus first.
Simon, if you don't put Jesus first.
No, Simon's over here.
Where?
Right there.
Put Jesus first. Something wrong with you. Now, can you dig it?
Sing something else,
Question,
man.
Randy, in America, do you have a button that puts subtitles on? Do you?
Can you spin the cup?
I
See,
can't
y'all ain't
understand a word
listening.
of
This guy needs a subtitle. Yo, dog, but can you sing?
I can sing, but
why-
it's
why
crunk.
keep
It's
him
just going to
going?
be crunk. You just going to do that.
Wait, no. Why?
But sing something
This
then.
is a singing competition,
I
honey.
told you what I was
Allegedly.
singing. Hey.
Yeah, but a different
It's
song.
the same thing.
James Brown, anything.
I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I knew that I would. Da-na-na-na-na-na. So good. So good. And I got you.
Stomping and clapping.
I got it.
Hey, so good. So good. So good.
I got it.
You're a stepper, man. You're a stepper. You're a stomper, huh?
No Negro spoken here.
I thought I heard Negro.
He's a musical fellow.
Yeah.
He knows how to keep a rhythm.
Yeah.
Give him a spackle bucket and some drumsticks, and he'll make a fortune out on the streets. But he's not American Idol material.
I just love this guy, though, man. Something about him.
Yeah, but I'm trying to make you feel what I'm talking about.
I feel you, man. We're feeling you, dog.
Can you dig it?
Yes. Yeah, we can dig it, baby. Look at Simon. He's right here with you.
Simon, you need to get crunk. You need to cut everything chop and get crunk your body here and do that.
I agree.
Can you imagine if Simon had the crunk teeth like that? If Simon was
Then
crunk
take them out, look. Hey, this for the TV, and this for your mommy and daddy.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
I got mine together now.
Yeah. Dog, you ain't right for this, man. But listen, we love you, man. The energy. He's the hype man. I mean, you the ultimate hype man,
you are
dog.
so entertaining and energetic and fun. But you know this isn't the right competition.
But see, that's why I'm on TV right now, so y'all gonna put me on.
Can I tell you something? You are definitely going to be on TV.
You definitely gonna be on TV, man.
See, that's the thing. I want to be in Hollywood. I go to Hollywood, I should not be outside.
Leroy,
And see, y'all don't want me to go to Hollywood, because y'all know I'm going to take over.
Yeah, you gonna turn Hollywood out.
And you know that.
Leroy.
So, do what you do.
Leroy.
It's all good.
Planet Earth calling Leroy. Leroy.
I see a
You
taser
really
in his
can't get a
future.
good assessment of what you do until you listen to Simon.
What? The winner of the show gets to go on the Jay Leno show the following day. I'd love to be in their office planning that interview. It's just ridiculous.
In a good way.
I did
In a
not
good way,
understand a word you said.
It's all good. Let me know what's the deal. Am I in it? Am I not? So I can go back home and go to work before my dad.
No.
Okay, Daddy. I respect
No,
that.
man. Appreciate you, dog.
Y'all got to say it for me. Can you dig?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can dig it, baby. Keep it crunk, baby. Keep crunk in your life.
It's going to stay crunk, boy. Opie.
And there he goes.
I think he should have been shot. Gene Simmons, the worst celebrity judge ever. Guy was on. People are coming up. They were like they give him a little, I don't know, a little extra sympathy. The judges usually, and let him go through to the next level if they're good enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best ever to get through the first level because they understand you're nervous. You don't have music backing you and stuff, and they need people that are going to be booted out for the second level anyway. And Gene Simmons is just taking everybody and no, you're not good enough. No, I say no. And people that normally would have gotten through, that would be what pissed me off.
Right.
If I went up there and knew that if Gene Simmons wasn't sitting there, I would have gone through to the next level. And because Gene is like, he was ragging one guy because he didn't look like he should be singing boy band songs. He goes, you're getting a little too old for that genre of music. Me? How about you fossil?
He's 60 wearing boots and makeup. He's like one of the Andrews sisters.
But he's telling this guy, and then, no, I don't think so.
Is it this clip? Oh, wait, it might be long, though.
Randy.
You guys can both sing, man. It's just funny that you sing Boys to Men songs.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
You guys can definitely both sing?
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gene?
You know, the Uzi kind of white boy thing really helps when you're a teenager because everybody, the girls swoon and stuff. You're getting to that age where it's becoming, in my opinion, too old to sing this kind of material.
Hey, hello.
That's the biggest problem for me.
Paula? For me.
Oh, God,
For me,
I just
Jimmy.
hate him.
No, I won't take a picture
He was
with
your
you.
hero.
He was, but he's just such a douche.
I'm
You
going
can't
to
like him.
kick you down the stairs and then hug you and
Can't
hold
believe
you.
I wanted that guy to hug me and love me and make me feel better with his God of Thunder boots.
Anthony, this just in.
Yes.
This just in. Breaking news. You nailed it with Leroy Wells. American Idol hopeful Leroy Wells watches his performance from the lockup.
Oh, no. Are you
You
kidding?
nailed it, dude.
Are you kidding?
You nailed it. An American Idol hopeful gaining notoriety, but not just for his shot at stardom. TV viewers found Grand Bay's Leroy Wells on national TV Tuesday night. However, on Wednesday, the would-be idol could be found in jail, Anthony. While millions of American Idol fans kept it locked into Leroy was locked up behind bars for failing to appear in court. The 22-year-old Alabama native wowed fans with his rendition of Gotcha Money by ODB. Even though he wasn't able to watch his performance from home, sheriff deputies tell NBC 15 they did allow Leroy and other inmates to watch American Idol from jail.
Oh, nice.
Mobile police spokesman Marcus Young says Leroy Wells was arrested earlier this month for reportedly shooting a handgun into an occupied vehicle.
Nice. There you go. Didn't you just know this guy was a criminal? I don't know. I'm watching the show going, this guy's got to have something bad in his past.
Was he saying, hey, you got my money,
My
bang,
money, bang. Because you know what it is? He was too crazy not to be a criminal. The guy, you could just picture him on the streets like going crazy.
Apparently, they were arguing over how the cars were in the roadway, at which time Mr. Wells allegedly shot the victim in his hip.
Oh, my God.
How the cars were in the roadway. Family members say because Leroy is a pretty boy, he gets picked on a lot, which explains why he may have been carrying a pistol to protect himself.
Wow.
I guess a lot of people picks on him, and he's had that problem since he's been a kid. As he got older, he just got tired of it, and so he took measures into his own hands.
Oh, they quoted. I thought that was a typo. They quoted his family saying, a lot of people picks on him.
That's what I mean. A lot of people picks on him.
Alabama.
His brother says, despite those incidents, Leroy is destined for stardom and would not go as far as shooting another human being. I'm saying he didn't do it. It's all hearsay from what I know.
Hearsay.
Yeah.
He shot a gun. A guy has a bullet in his hip.
And oh my God. Wednesday, Leroy's family had trouble coming up with the bond money, some $11,000.
Who doesn't have 11 grand
to get your kid out of the
Opie? What's $11,000?
That's nothing.
It's a mere bag of shells.
Really? I mean, I spent that on dinner last night.
Who doesn't have 11 grand?
But then later they came up with the money. So there you go, and you nailed that one.
Wow.
Hey.
I was making a joke.
We got to rewind the show just a second. You know, Gene Simmons is talking about
Gene Simmons.
You know that a lot of these people just don't have talent, and he's very rude and stuff. And he thinks that some of these kids that are still in their very early 20s are getting too old to sing boy band type songs, which was kind of a stretch because, like Jimmy said, he's pushing 60 now and doing his thing still,
putting on his face makeup and spitting blood.
Uh-oh, demon coming. Uh-oh.
Well, we got a nice example of Gene Simmons sounding young and hip, Anthony.
All right.
Let's go to the tape now.
I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. You're the fire starter, twisted fire starter.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
Gene, maybe you shouldn't be singing those songs.
Yeah, I think you're a little too old to try to cross over, stupid.
Yes,
You
Eric.
should see the music video. He's dressed like a pimp in a big fur coat, dancing around in the mall.
Yeah, because he's a fire starter.
Yes, he is.
Ooh.
He spits the fire.
Starts
the fire. What an ass.
That guy's hip.
We have to get into the Jimmy thing. Jimmy had a huge weekend.
Yeah.
A couple good stories coming out of your weekend, huh?
Should
we start with Friday, I guess?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Well, there was two great stories. Friday was Babe Fest down there at WYSP.
Babe Fest.
The old home of, one of the homes of the Opie and Anthony program.
That's
it was like
right.
our second home, Philly, I
Yep.
believe. And even Tim Sabian told me he so wished that we were still part of that radio station.
Yeah, they've been great. Even since we got booted off, I mean, they've always been supportive of me and the show.
He runs a
and-
great radio station,
Phenomenal.
I gotta tell you.
Yeah, he's great.
You could just hear it. You just could hear it when you tune in WYSP. Obviously, the commercial thing stinks.
That's not his fault, though.
No, obviously. And Tim Sabian's been yelling and screaming at the company, you got to get Opie and Anthony, as part of this thing again, but they're not listening. So they would rather just, die a slow death as satellite radio takes over the world. That's fine. Whatever. But Tim Sabian's trying to do his part. Anyway, so he invited you to be one of the judges at Babe Fest?
Yeah, I hosted it last year. It was me and Cousin Ed, who's the afternoon guy. And this year I was a judge with Florentine and some guy, Jesus, Hawk, you all right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's fine.
What was that?
Some sneeze attack.
All right.
All right.
You look good in your baby blue shirt.
Thank you.
It's Periwinkle.
It's nice. So I'm co-hosting. I mean, I'm being a judge this year with Florentine and this guy Bam from MTV, who I had no idea who he was, and some.
You don't know Bam from
No
MTV?
idea. No idea.
He was on Jackass, and then he's got his own show where he
Viva La Bam?
Yeah, no, I
fucks
heard
with,
afterwards.
his
I
friends
heard.
and family.
Wouldn't have known him if he wound up in a buddy booth next to me.
Really?
Never heard of him.
Coincidentally enough.
He's kind of
Bam!
big.
There he was.
He's kind of big with the kids, Jimmy.
No, I'm sure he's very popular.
That's one of the biggies out there as far as the MTV culture goes.
No idea.
No.
So he was a judge, and
You really had no idea? That
No
amazes
clue.
me.
No.
Did you ever see Jackass?
Yeah, just the movie once. I never watched the show.
No?
He was one of the guys in the movie.
Oh. Who knows him?
All right.
I don't know. I'm a pop culture ass.
You really
Wow.
are.
I don't know. And Gene Simmons was the host with Cousin Ed, and
right.
I had my little awkward
Gene
run-in January with Gene.
Yeah, now there was a problem with Gene. Of course, our listeners know because they've heard the replay a few times of you just ripping Gene apart. Yeah, we get it.
I was a lifelong Kiss fan in childhood. And we had interviewed him one day on the phone. I had met him a couple times, once with you guys years ago and once with the rest of Kiss in the Garden. And he, we interviewed him one day, and then I see him in Vegas a week later. And I go, hey, I'm from the Opie and Anthony show, and Steve is with me. And he was pretty rude.
He was very rude.
And
you wanted a picture?
I said, hey, yeah, can I get a quick picture? He's like, oh, no, I can't take a picture now. I'm walking. And he kind of turned me down. He goes, you can walk with me. So I go to walk with him, and Yoshi's backing up at the camera trying to take a picture, and Gene wouldn't even look at me. I'm like, can we just take the picture real quick? And like, he's got a camera crew with him, and he wouldn't even acknowledge that there was a human being speaking to him.
What a cock. And the guy shouldn't have been given the time of day by you after that.
I was just furious. So I kind of went off on the air about it.
Kinda.
Yeah, I was a little upset. And that was a day and a half or 2 days removed.
Yeah.
So in Philly, he's hosting this event. So I'm backstage. He has no idea who I am. He doesn't remember me. Of course, I bring the 2 pictures that I have with him to get signed. And I'm like, let bygones be bygones. And he's actually very cool backstage. We're talking. He's very nice. He signs the pictures. He's friendly. He's talking to everybody backstage. He got me so good, too. I'm walking away. He goes, Jim. And I turn around. He goes, not you.
No.
Somebody asked him to do that, and he did. He got me really good. So.
Wow.
He was very, very cordial and just, very accommodating. We talked about the Middle East a little bit and just chit-chatted because he had made those comments about Islam being an awful culture or whatever it was he said. So then they call us out on the stage. They introduced me. They introduced Florentine Bam. And then Gene, the master of ceremonies, comes out. And the way Babe Fest is it's a bikini contest, basically. Is the host is in the middle of this massive stage, 3,000 people at the Electric Factory in Philly. And we're on these couches on the stage on the side, and we're going to judge the girls. So Gene is filming a reality TV show. Got a camera guy with him. It says Gene's TV. If you don't want to be on TV, you'd have to sign a waiver saying it's okay to be on TV. So he comes out and he says hello, and he goes, if anyone doesn't want to be on my show, come up on the stage now. So all of a sudden he starts pointing to the middle of the room, and he goes, do you want to come up on stage? And I look, and there's this maniac in a red hat running towards the stage, and Gene's like, well, come on up here. So the kid's trying to jump up on the stage, and you hear, poof. He breaks the stage light. It's like one of those fluorescent stage lights. He breaks it, because it's like a long runway. It's the runway that Patty got the stuff thrown at her on.
The urine.
So this maniac runs around the runway to the other part of the stage to get on. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a fanatic.
Yeah.
He jumps up on the stage, and Gene walks over to him with the microphone. And then this kid starts walking towards me and pointing at me.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going, oh no. Oh, it's a pest.
Oh, no, a pest. Out of all those people.
In front of 3,000 people. Gene goes, yes, what do you want? And the guy goes, my friend Little Jimmy Norton likes to take celebrity pictures. Why wouldn't you take a celebrity picture with him? And I'm going, it's okay. He was nice to me backstage.
My friend
Dude, it was
okay.
And Gene's like, Gene realized, I guess, that something had happened. So Gene grabs me by the hand, and he holds my hand and walks me to this.
Hold my hand, man.
It was all child.
Hold my hand, man. Oh, no.
It hurt my ego. He walks me to the middle of the stage, holding my hand. Little Jimmy Robinson would have been out of his mind with happiness.
Yes, that's exactly what he had kicked you. You know something? Figuratively speaking, this was your dream.
Yes.
He had kicked you down the stairs by not taking your picture in Vegas and being rude and nasty and treating you like that. He hurt you.
Yes.
Because you've been such a big fan.
And I was hurt.
And now was the time for him to cuddle you and make you feel better.
Make it all better.
And pat your head.
Well, it would have been nice if he had no idea what was going on. He's like, and Cousin Ed is panicking. Because he sees, like, this is a problem. This guy is not a fun fan. This guy, is like, why wouldn't you take a celebrity picture? There's this maniac just accusing Gene Simmons. So Gene walks me out to the middle of the stage, and he knows something's wrong, and he says to me, what happened? What? I'm like, well, I'm like, you blew me off in Vegas, but it was okay, because he was being...
look at you, but it was okay.
I'm saying to the guy, like, yeah, dude, it's okay. He was nice backstage. Everything's okay. And Gene goes, what would you like me to do? I'm like, we can take a picture. Gene goes, okay, fine. Who's going to take it? And so we look at this one guy in the middle of the floor who's actually working for YSP. And we go to take the picture, and Gene puts his arm around me, and he puts his leg up in like a silly pose, and I hug him.
I see the picture right here.
Yeah, can we get that picture up on opieandanthony.com? We'll do that soon.
And, you see the silly little picture.
You're hugging him.
Yeah, because he put his leg up as a goof, so I hugged him, and the guys took the picture. And then the Gene goes, okay, and then the kid who's sitting now in my seat on the couch just starts going to Gene, and now I want an apology why you wouldn't walk with Jimmy when you said you would walk. Little son of a bitch wants an apology. I'm like, dude, it's okay. Everything's fine.
The guy's representing you.
Dude, Club Soda Kenny has to come and get him off the stage. It was nice.
And Kenny isn't very...
Well, Kenny just kind of shoved him off because Cousin Ed is having a stroke right now. The kid's yelling, O&A party rock, as the kid pulls him off as Kenny pulls him off the stage. He's just a lunatic. And then we go to like a break after like the band plays. They had a song to do after the first round. So Gene walks up to me and he goes, why would he think I'd ever mistreated you? I'm like, well,
Oh, I might have said something.
One time in Vegas, you were really busy, and I'm such a worm. I'm not gonna lie.
You are a worm.
I'm like, you kind of blew me off for a picture, and I mentioned it on the air,
just
casually mentioned it on the air,
in passing.
And he was a fan. He's, and the fans are very protective, and they're very fierce fans, And Gene's like, well, he was a little crazy.
Gene doesn't understand fierce fans.
Well, he gets it. I mean, he was, because he goes, well, what happened? I saw he was going to be a problem. And I had to nip it right in the bud. Something like that spreads like wildfire. I'm like, what are you talking about? Exactly. He goes, well, when I mentioned that, if anyone doesn't want to be on TV, you have to come up on the stage. This kid's in the middle of the room looking at me and yelling, fuck you, Gene, fuck you. This maniac had been that's why Gene brought him on, because this lunatic was yelling, fuck you, and jamming his middle finger up at Gene Simmons. So this kid...
He wanted to stop it right there.
Oh, he knew this kid was a problem.
Yeah.
This kid embarrassed Gene Simmons from Kiss, a rock icon, in front of 3,000 people.
For
a fat-titted sidekick from Jersey. So, Club Soda Kenny, I sent Kenny out to him. I'm like, make sure I didn't throw him out. And I said, like, thank him for me. And, just ask him, everything's cool. Don't do anything else. I don't want to get the kid in trouble.
Yeah.
And we got his information. I'm going to send him some stuff. And because I really did love the little bastard for doing it. I mean, it was really
hilarious.
Really moving that he did it. He defended me like that. But
certainly did.
It was so funny because Gene had been really nice to me backstage tonight, so he had no idea why he was being sandbagged by this.
He called you Little Jimmy Norton on stage.
Oh, yeah. He's like, little Jimmy Norton likes to take it. And as soon as he walks over and I'm sitting there, because someone had told me you should come into YSP because Gene was going to be in that day. But I couldn't because I knew if I did, somebody would call up and go, why don't you ask Gene why he wouldn't take a picture with you?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't need that.
You wanted to avoid the whole thing.
Yeah, because I wanted to get the picture signed.
Meanwhile, it becomes a huge event.
I'm like, in front of the whole theater. It's packed. YSP event.
Yeah, it wasn't an Opie and Anthony event.
No.
No, this was for YSP, and they were just,
great.
Poor Cousin Ed.
There's some great pictures from Babe Fest.
Oh, the chicks were phenomenal. Just fantastic.
We should just send them over to YSP today, I guess. What's the website? 94WYSP.com if you want to see pictures from Babe Fest that Jimmy was a part of.
And anyone that has pictures of me and Gene Simmons, especially that blog, I'd love to send me a large file because I would love to blow that up and hang it on my wall. That's a great shot.
Of course you would.
And there's video of that, too, so hopefully we'll be able to get some video loaded up to Foundry.
Gene Simmons on Family Jewels. Yeah, this is the latest show trying to...
We get it. You're not married, but you've been with the same woman for so many years. Yeah, we get it.
I'm not buying that horse shit anymore.
No.
At first, when he was coming around, sounding all cool, like he could get away with whatever he wants.
Yeah.
It's kind of buying into it, but I don't believe a word of it anymore. No. Maybe early on in his marriage, he was...
Gimmick.
He was still, getting a lot of poo-ha. But after seeing the show, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Gimmick.
It's a gimmick, absolutely.
Like his shoes.
Yeah.
Hi.
What are you doing?
All right, yeah, here's the scripted show.
Bad acting.
Another show that's trying to duplicate the success of the Osbournes. We're going to have Gene in, right? This sucks.
When?
Because we're going to have to call him out on this crap.
Listen to this bad acting. This is Gene when someone comes through the front door.
What's my problem? You're in my fucking house.
How horrible is that acting?
But
No, nothing's wrong. Just stay in the living room. I'll handle it.
Talking to his wife, not wife. Yeah.
Let's set this up. Set this up by saying Gene creates a logo for his son's band.
Ah, okay.
Listen to the acting. It's a reality show.
Lack thereof.
Hey,
Hi.
what are you doing?
Nick's forming his own band, so, eventually when you get your first record, you go out on tour, and I figured, by the time he gets up on stage, he'll have a logo and a place to stick this on, like a T-shirt. What do you think, huh?
Did Nick ask you to do it for him?
No.
Why are you doing it?
Well,
Imagine if someone helps you do your band. Said, you should name it Guapo and have a really big orange in the background.
well, that's not a good idea.
And you already copyrighted that, I can see.
Trademark, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. I'll shut up.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Gene Simmons is a bore.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more.
Ooh. Gene offers his son Nick some advice on being in a band that is far too advanced.
Far too advanced?
Yeah, his advice.
For what?
His son wants to start a stupid little band. And Gene's giving him this just over-the-top advice.
Oh, okay, the advice.
Way too advanced.
Yeah.
Are you really serious about this stuff? Yeah. I've got a lot of advice for you. This is a tour bus. Looks cool. You will hate it. It's going to smell like your butt unwiped. This looks like a groupie. Don't talk to her. So, what are you going to look like on stage?
The energetic frontman.
The energetic frontman who's got the charisma to make you want to go and buy the T-shirts and the belt buckles.
And the T-shirt and the, yes.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
I hear music bed, never good.
No.
Yeah, music
when
bed
you have
means
to
awful show.
Yep. Music under there to fill in the spaces.
Here's Shannon Tweed telling Gene to lay off a little.
I just got some stuff for Nick. I see he's got the voice and the style and the whole thing. He's really got a vibe, and I want to make sure he's got the right clothes, and he should know that
Maybe you
a
shouldn't
band's...
coach him so much.
Let me tell you something. He's going to be a rock star. He wants to be a rock star, and I know how to be a rock star. Yeah.
These are the best clips, by the way.
Wow.
Just to give you a taste. We'd like to preview these shows for you so you don't have to watch them.
Any more acting clips of Gene? Because that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like, I understand when, he got really mad at Shannon. They had a big fight because, something about her bank account.
Yeah, I heard tell of something like that.
What happened?
But, I don't know. Let's listen in.
Goddamn rich cunt! I kill rich cunt!
Yeah. Apparently she was spending too much money.
All right, Gene shows Nick a banner he has made being trailed by an airplane above their house directly after Nick gets a voicemail that his bandmate has quit.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, Nick, what's going on? I just don't think I have time for the band right now. Sorry, bro. But,
Yeah.
see you around.
You believe in flying saucers? I gotta show you something. Let's go outside. Well, it's a nice day today.
You're really scaring me now.
Can you see it?
How could you do... It's crazy. We're nowhere near ready for a gig.
He's lost his mind!
What are you guys doing?
Do you have any idea what just happened?
What happened?
There's an airplane with my name on it
What?
promoting a gig he booked for me.
Nick Simmons rocks! Saturday night!
I'm proud of you.
What are you doing?
Do it for my son.
Who did that?
Him.
That's right, baby. Now you can see it.
My son!
Out of his mind. I have to go.
You think that's cool?
It's crazy.
You got a perfectly good pair of shoes with that money.
Oh, my good God. I don't even.
What does Steve think of this show?
Oh, I don't think he likes it.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Steve.
Oh my God! Why not?
Why not?
I understand. Gene had to give his condolences to somebody.
How'd your parents die? Get the fuck out now.
Grr, grr, grr. Yeah. Oh.
Should we cut our losses?
Oh no! Please, a little bit more. Just one more.
That show is horrible.
Just one more.
Nick tells the band about their gig.
Oh no.
Nick Simmons, of course. Gene tried to help by playing their instruments. Nick scolds his father, Gene.
Does he?
Hey guys, here's the deal. My dad went a little crazy and he set up a gig for us in 2 days.
What? What?
In 2 days.
In 2 days?
So, I think we can do it.
We haven't even written any songs yet.
Trying to get enough songs to play at the gig that you arranged for us in a few days.
Before you even get up there, they're going to look at you.
Dado!
You got to take this. You can't just sit there like a grandmother. You go!
Dado, helping us is one thing. Doing it for us is another thing. Dad, stop it! Get out. Dad, I love you, but... Conviction.
I've been there. I've done that.
We will have conviction.
I know it.
Just let us do it. We have a deadline. No.
I will be listening.
Get the fuck out now.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Jesus.
I heard Steve in there.
I love when Steve pops up anywhere.
Pops in. Telling Gene to get the fuck out of the studio.
Why not?
And finally,
why not?
Yeah.
And finally, Gene and Nick have a talk to straighten things out because now there's a problem.
Oh no! Oh no! Do they work it out? I can't wait.
Nick's gig goes well and all is fine.
So, hiya. You know I mean well, right?
Yeah, but that was a lot. I know you're trying to help and stuff, but the band itself is having trouble. Like, I don't seem committed at all. You know?
I'll take care of it. I'll play bass if you want me to. Or guitar.
Is there any way to find a group of people my age?
I don't know a lot of 17-year-old Muppets.
I guess I just want a little time to try to get a bunch of guys together. No more banners. At least not until we've written the song. Okay?
Got a deal.
Why not? No, nothing's wrong. Just stay in the living room. I'll handle it.
Fantastic. Wow.
Why not?
Why not? How did your parents die? Stay here, I'll handle it. He is multifaceted, isn't he? Yeah, listen to this. It's the same delivery.
Why not? How'd your parents die? 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 That's terrible. I'm sorry. Why not? How'd your parents die?
That is the same delivery. Why not and how'd your parents die? Two polar opposites.
Why not? How'd your parents die?
You're a one-trick sissy.
Oh, is that great?
It makes me happy. I love him.
Say goodbye to this show. We don't need to pay attention to that one.
Bye-bye, Gene.
That is awful. Let's go to Eric in Cleveland. Eric.
Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Eric.
Hey, listen, I want to call Jimmy out. I thought he was all pissed off at Gene Simmons because he blew him off for a picture opportunity walking along somewhere.
That was settled, sir, if you would listen to this program.
I don't mind being called out, but don't call me out in your radio voice. No, Gene.
Radio voice.
No, Gene and I. He didn't remember any of it. We actually at Babe Fest last year. I was a judge and he was the host, and he was actually very nice to me. And he had no memory of any of it. And boy, at one of the O&A pests, really made an uncomfortable moment. Who I will always love this pest for. But he called Gene out on it, and Gene didn't remember it. So there's nothing. It's a non-issue to him. He doesn't.
Yeah.
What do I know, dude? I'm just a small boy wearing a Kiss shirt.
Did you bring in your pictures?
Yeah, I got 4 for him to sign. I don't think I'll sign 4, but I'm going to get a couple.
You're gonna get them all upset at us.
No, he won't get mad. They're all of me. I'm not going to sell them. They're of me and him.
We got Gene Simmons coming in a few minutes here. You have to explain your Kiss shirt to Gene Simmons. That's great. It's the Opie and Anthony Show. The O&A virus spreading across America. In studio, Gene Simmons. And right away, he looks at Jim Norton and goes, he's talking about your Kiss shirt, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, that's not what I said. I said, that's not sucking up, is it?
He knew I was.
Yeah.
But
He's just trying to make sure that when he gets to jail, he'll be popular.
He
I mean that in the very nicest way.
Not only did he wear the Kiss shirt, he's got pictures that he wants signed.
But only of me and him, nothing.
Yeah, I know,
and a few farm animals.
And
not a lot.
Train on one.
He was practicing on other pictures that he doesn't care about with all sorts of Sharpies to make sure it comes out perfect.
For?
Why you're gonna shut us down?
Our website, we just put up opieanthony.com.
Okay, let me show you how to do it the right way. Ask me if it's okay to film.
Here we go.
Yeah, I told you
Go
already,
ahead.
Sam.
Go
Why don't you
ahead.
ask him?
Sam.
Well, of course.
Oh, all right.
See how that works?
He gave us the okay.
Yeah, before you stick it in, you say, may I?
Okay.
Of course, pulling out is not an option, sorry. That was one of the first lies we ever told, isn't it? I promise I'll pull out.
Of course you mean the zoom on the camera. Because the fact that this is terrestrial radio and we're not on satellite for another hour or so.
That was not the real Gene Simmons. That was Craig from Stern's show who was doing an impression.
Oh, Craig Gass? That's a good Gene.
Oh, yeah, that was a great impression of
and
you.
And whoever started using terrestrial, a big word like gymnasium.
I know.
It's a dumb word.
Everyone got confused as to what to call regular radio.
Then they should call terra firma radio.
Terra firma?
That's actually what Earth is called. Did you know that?
Terra firma.
Terra firma, yes.
I like Earth better.
Solid ground. We are Terrans. But those are semantics.
I like Earthling.
Earthling is
It
good.
sounds cuter and nicer.
To me, it sounds like jewelry.
An Earthling?
Yeah, you got
like
a nice
some
Earthling.
bling.
Does it match?
Some Earth bling.
I prefer ex-monkey.
Oh, I like that.
That's good, because that's all we are.
Yeah. A little hyphen.
You buying that?
You mean that in the very nicest way, of course.
Oh, yeah. I love monkeys. They're fantastic.
Some people say we're not from the monkeys, though. Jimmy.
That's actually true. We're actually descended from Australopithecus africanus, which later became Australopithecus afarensis, which was discovered in what was then known as the Olduvai Gorge of Tanganyika by L.S. Leakey.
See, we had an argument
Dr.
about that
Leakey,
recently.
I presume?
That's exactly right.
Yes.
That was Spencer Tracy. And
Yes.
Livingston. I'm good.
He knows.
Yeah, 1943, I think it was.
Little picture, 1943, a little song.
You ever see the incident with Martin Sheen?
Sure.
A hard one to find on DVD. Martin Sheen's first film.
Yeah. How did you get the from Dr. Stanley Livingston to? That was the name of the movie, by the way.
Well, because we were talking about movies.
Old movies.
That's all we need.
You seem like you've seen a lot of obscure old movies, and I can't find them
I
on
see
DVD.
everything. I am a nut for just useless information. Yeah, I'm sure you can tell.
A lot of Discovery, History Channel stuff,
you know what? I'm an only child, and I have a lot of time to myself.
Yeah, a lot of television time.
I pout a lot, and so
books.
I sit in front of the television. Yes, read a lot, and so because I want to be an a-hole, not only privately, but of course when you get together and people say, "How are you?" I'm glad you asked me that. When I was a child of 4, you know.
What's the geekiest magazine or that you would read to get information?
New
from?
Republic.
New Republic?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's in there? What's in there that you can use?
Political insights.
Yeah. Which way does it lean?
Not necessarily in either way, although, of course, pundits on the left believe it leans to the right, and likewise to the left.
That makes perfect sense.
I mean, it's just an accident depends on which side of the street you were in, because you see different sides of the accident.
I like Popular Mechanics. I kind of,
I can drive my truck, but as soon as you lift the hood,
it's over, Johnny.
I'm done.
Is that where because you're very knowledgeable on a lot of things, but cars, it's over?
I know, but that's useless time. You hire somebody for that, pay them a few bucks.
Wasn't there a KISS dragster at some point?
As a matter of fact, there were 3 KISS NASCARs.
And
3 KISS NHRA cars.
Top fuel dragsters. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, John Force, who's got a show on A&E, see the segue?
With his chicks.
He actually was part of one of the KISS teams, I think, and his protege, whose name I can never pronounce, although he's a champion, Tony Pedragan, actually won the Las Vegas NHRA race in a KISS funny car is what they call it.
Yeah.
But of course now I'm involved with Indy, which are the fastest cars on earth. Man, you got to check this out. Racing season just ended in Chicago, and I went to almost every single one. And the Simmons Abramson. Sorry?
How'd you get involved in that?
You know, I was never really aware of it. Everybody's aware of the legendary and iconic Indy 500, but you know, until I went down and saw my first IndyCar race, this was in Texas, I saw 145,000 people having the time of their lives. And then what you're seeing, you actually can't believe. Let me just kind of lay it out for you. You get whiplash with how fast these cars go by. You know, when you get into an American Airlines jet that takes off, JFK, for instance, you're taking off, you're airborne at 150 miles an hour. On a straight line, these cars can go 90 miles an hour faster than that. In point of fact, they have wings in the front of the car pointed down, upside down, to keep the car on the ground.
Yeah,
it's
they
called
lose one of those.
downforce. Yeah.
Over.
When they crash into each other, they take off like rockets because there's so much. It's aerodynamically built so that for instance, the car is about 4 inches off the ground. Literally, if the ground's not completely straight, they'll crash. So they're 4 inches off the ground because they're going so fast that the air going underneath it would lift it. They would take off like rockets. They are rockets.
And you have a Kiss.
Shelby now, Ant?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
You want to cancel the Shelby now?
No, I'm getting the damn Shelby.
All right.
No, Shelby is like, NASCAR's great, but they're training wheels. You know, that stuff. You can go into a dealership.
Boy, you are gonna. You are gonna
you can
piss
go into
off
a store.
some
Come
people
on.
from
Come
the
on.
Midwest.
I'm not. You have to respect.
Don't you know this whole Indy NASCAR rivalry that goes on?
Of course.
It's huge.
Well, you should take a NASCAR and put it right next to an Indy car and see what happens.
Well, you know it's gonna. Well, okay. How about the first time you trade a little paint? That Indy car is gonna be.
Trade a little paint?
Trade a little paint, you know what I mean?
A little bump.
You get like, you know...
They bump it up a bit.
Yeah, like...
A little rubbing.
Well, a little rubbing, a little... Yeah. That doesn't happen in that.
Roadrunner and Coyote. It's Roadrunner and Coyote, baby. You want to tread paint, you got to catch me first. The only thing they're going to be seeing is IndyCar butt, because it's going to be way ahead of you.
And you're involved in this as a sponsor?
No, the Simmons Abramson marketing firm does the worldwide branding marketing.
Of course it does.
For all of IndyCar around
Didn't
the
you
world.
used to play a guitar for a band?
We still do.
It's like, what happened?
You know, everybody's used to just doing one thing. So whatever happened to a big word like Renaissance or Renaissance?
I'm going to the Renaissance Festival this Saturday.
Yeah, but what it really means is...
Does that
what
mean
it really,
Earth?
No, what it really means is that you should be doing lots of stuff. You should be doing all kinds of
stuff.
You
are truly like Da Vinci.
Oh, I'm not gay.
Renaissance. Da Vinci's gay?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Big time. He liked little boys. Liked young flesh.
Did he?
Male young flesh, yeah.
Wow.
Naughty one, that Da Vinci
Well, he was creative, so what does that mean?
But anyone that's creative.
I don't know. Like a nice smooth easel to paint on?
that is one of the... You know, Da Vinci is proof positive. Everybody should treat each other nicely because no matter what lifts your skirt, you know, there's lots of cool stuff happening out there, and no matter where it comes from, tip your hat. But you're right. Simmons Abramson Marketing does do the worldwide branding marketing for the Indy Racing League. Check it out at IndyCar.com.
Have you ever been in an IndyCar?
I'm physically too big because the every single pound, in fact, the drivers don't eat before they get into the cars. And, of course, Danica Patrick, who's a champion, really pretty girl, will leave your butt in the dust, is about 5'1", maybe 5 feet tall. And so the additional weight actually has an impact on the miles per hour. When you're doing the Indy 500, for instance, you're doing, 200. It takes about 2.5 hours because you're going over 200 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah.
And, no, hardly any crashes ever. You can't, because at those speeds, you will die.
No, they've got much safer, too.
Well, we did have a fatality, actually, in the very first race this year.
Well, except for that.
Yeah,
just let me take what I said and just throw it right out the window.
In the trials. No, these are modern knights in shining armor. These people really have a kind of a dignity and loyalty to what they do, and it's life-threatening. This is way above sports. But you're right. The Gene Simmons Family Jewels is on A&E.
Oh, yes, of course.
Big hit. big hit. I'm very proud of it. It joins my other show, which is on Nickelodeon, My Dad the Rock Star, the cartoon show, which is now in its 5th year.
5th year,
And
you've
in
had a
24
cartoon on
countries.
Nickelodeon.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
See, well, I don't watch much Nickelodeon.
What's the matter with you?
I don't have kids.
We're out of the
Norton's
demo.
not saying a word. Ain't Norton!
I don't have kids, and I'm not
I'm
Da
just
Vinci.
listening. I don't want to get yelled at, so I'm just going to kind of enjoy.
Well, he's just... I'm waiting for the jokes, otherwise I dominate this.
Don't count on any. I just get nervous when idols are around. So
Yeah,
I
he's
kinda-
just staring at you.
I just kind of clam up and enjoy. And then as soon as you leave, I'll say a bunch of funny things, and maybe someone could like email them to you, like, "Oh, that was good what Norton said," because I'll get nervous.
All right.
Now, what made you? Now, a lot of people would say money because you do have a reputation as a
Wait a
businessman.
minute. What do you guys do this for free? Everybody wants to make money.
Of course, I'm not saying that.
Stop attacking
You get
Gene.
so defensive.
No.
Shut up, I'm not.
I'm
What was your motivation?
I'm making the observation. You're being
Yeah.
defensive, but I'm not being offensive.
No,
Making the observation, stating fact, which is you like to get paid just the way
But
I
you
do.
said that before I completed what I was saying.
He was
I
going
said-
somewhere.
Because your point was some people might think you do it for money. Instance being, what, you don't do this for money?
No, I do this for money and because it's a lot of fun.
Well, what does that mean, that I don't do it for fun?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you for. You didn't so rudely interrupt me.
Do I look like a
I
happy
was
guy?
trying to-
Do I look? What's funny about that?
You do actually
Don't I look
like
happy?
a happy guy.
Do
Is
I
that the
strike
voice
you?
in the Nickelodeon cartoon?
No, that's Pesci. What the matter with you?
That's from
Jesus.
Wise Guys. What's funny about that?
That's Goodfellas.
Oh, okay.
What's funny about that? You think I'm funny? That's Pesci.
That's Pesci?
I knew it. He didn't.
That's
No,
Bugs Bunny. You think that's funny? What do you think? I'm a clown?
Ooh, you varmint! Sounds like somebody.
I
say.
That's Mel Blanc.
I'll say it. What possessed you to invite cameras in to your personal life?
You mean for Gene Simmons' Family Jewels seen
Exactly.
on Monday, and of course reruns on A&E.
Yes.
By the way, everybody should check out. This is a good little organization. They have a wacky brand, A&E. Nobody knows what that stands for. I don't like the sound of it, but they've got
Arts and entertainment.
Oh, shut up. That's horrible.
It used to be. Well, it used to be when it first came out was pretty much stuff you'd see on PBS. A lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it was
but
like
it's
classical
cool.
music and hip
yeah.
hop.
Now
There's some cool stuff. They've got Dallas SWAT.
Yeah.
You got to watch this stuff. Now they've added 2 more Dallas SWATs, Dallas, Kansas City and stuff. This is the real stuff. And this guy, Criss Angel, is actually a big Kiss fan. I met Criss when he was first working out of the basement of the WWE building over here in Times Square. And he was doing a little show, and I came to see him and stuff. And I'm going, you spell your name interestingly, Criss, C-R-I-S-S. He did that in honor of Peter Criss, big Kiss fan.
Really?
Didn't want to spell
I
his
didn't
name
know that.
C-H. Yeah, that's why he spelled it.
I thought he was just
C-R-I-S-S.
stupid.
No, this guy gets
thought he
chicks.
was-
Anybody?
Oh, yeah,
who likes
we've
Mel.
had him on the show. Yeah.
Good guy, really fascinating, and all that, and of course, Dog, the powerful and attractive dog, convicted
Powerful and
murderer, by
attractive.
the way.
Hmm?
Convicted
Yes,
murderer.
yes. With his own show now.
It's fun. Why
Isn't that
not?
amazing?
Only
He's
in America.
He's a bounty hunter. Goes out with his
best on
fire extinguisher full of macer.
His wife is a hoot, Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met in Los Angeles, and she went into the when are you going to get married routine. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that term.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
As we all know, the only thing wrong with marriage is one of the two tends to be a man.
well, that is an issue on your show.
It's never an issue for the male of this species.
No, not for you, but
It kind of looks like you're married when you watch Family Jewels, though.
Well, you mean Gene Simmons' Family Jewels?
Yes.
right.
When you watch the show, it looks like you're married,
Well,
even though
here's
you're
what
not.
Here's what it's called.
You got the wife in the house. You
There's
got the
no-
kids. It
no,
looks like
it's not.
it looks like a marriage thing to me.
I know, but the reason I'm happy and the rest of you guys are miserable is nobody's allowed to ask me where I'm going. Where are you going? Where am I going? Who wants to know? The last time I checked, only the mother who gave me birth has that right.
She honestly doesn't check up on you.
because they know it's to some business deal where he's going to bring home
Absolutely
suitcases
not.
full of cash.
Absolutely not. If you watch the show, you'll see. As a matter of fact, this last week's show
Yeah.
was me opening up Gene Simmons' Bikini Car Wash, and there were babes galore. I go to the Hooters casino opening. This idea that women have that just because they make 1 or 2 eggs and we make billions of sperm every day, they've actually deluded themselves into believing that all of our billions of sperm are just for her. How about no?
Share the wealth.
Well, we have no choice. That's how we're built. Tell me if this is true, all you women out there. Don't cast glances at me because I'm too far away. But think of it this way. Your beloved, the guy you love, who's already said in front of God and country and everybody else that he's going to spend the rest of his days on earth with you, in sickness and in health, and said, I do. And he loves you. He does. And you're walking down the stairs, and they're throwing rice at you, and you look at each other lovingly, and you know that this is your guy. And he turns around, and on his left is a girl with a pair of double Ds with her finger in her mouth. What is the first thing your guy is thinking?
Hopefully she's bulimic.
Kick her down the stairs. Kick your new wife down the stairs.
He will mount her in public and charge admission. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't love his beloved. It means that nature and the blueprint of life as designed by God himself speaks louder than that.
And the lovely Miss Tweed is fine with this?
It doesn't matter. You know, the idea is that you don't own the other person. I'm crazy about her. We've been together happily unmarried for 23 years.
Right. Now, to me, that seems like it's just a formality.
That's
it's paperwork.
It is paperwork. You got that right. You need a cohabitation agreement, which supersedes and nullifies all laws of the land. That means, in plain English, anybody can leave anytime they want, so there's no paying.
So now that you're not open up to things like palimony, things like that, because you have a contract written out.
That's right. When you check into a hotel, you're actually signing a cohabitation. You agree to cohabitate in that building with the rest of the people. But when you leave, you don't take half the hotel with you.
But the guy, the check-in clerk, doesn't care if you're screwing the cleaning woman.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how he would care because he's doing her. It actually doesn't matter. You have to live your life your way. You have the responsibility to make yourself happy. How anybody else thinks about it is beside the point.
Does it cheapen the relationship, even though you've been together so long?
I think the honesty makes my relationship more profound than all the rest of you guys, because all the rest of you guys lie, and you make up stories, and when your wife turns around, you look at the first girl and make all kinds of remarks.
Well, looking is fine.
Well,
but what about now taking the next step into diving in?
You know as well as I do that most of the guys listening out there have been there, and not every mailman and every milkman that comes by is an unhappy guy. There are many wives out there who do the deed and nobody talks about it.
Sure.
The reason I'm different than the rest of you guys is all of you lie. I refuse to.
What does she get out of it then? Why does she accept this?
Is she allowed to do the same thing?
Yeah,
cool, she does the same
yeah.
thing.
What does she get out of this?
More importantly, there are no rules. You're thinking archaic terms. In the modern world, whether you like it or not, people will do whatever they want to do anyway.
But why does she accept this arrangement?
You don't have to accept it.
No, why does she though? Why does she?
Perhaps there's love. Perhaps above and beyond who and what we are, that we don't define love by a body part.
You're like a Vulcan. It's just
the rest
pure
of
logic.
Guys, your stuff is faulty. The way she defines her relationship with you is through that thing that dangles between your legs. That thing belongs to me. That's her definition of you, and you define her that way too.
So you have no problem with her going and getting some on the side?
I would absolutely stay with her, because the most important thing is how I feel about her as a human being, not how I feel about the body part. Because let's be honest about this. I'm going to say this again slowly so the rest of you get it. You can't own a human being. It doesn't matter what you say. And I refuse to do the things that all the rest of you do, which is you promise in front of God that you take the oath. I'm going to stay with you forever. And then when you get divorced, my question is, what happened to that oath?
Where did that oath go?
You lied. You lied.
Drivers and stuff can't get away with that. Like, let's be honest. I mean, you are who you are.
I know, but I want to go back to what I said, because you lied. You lied to God. You lied to the person in front of you, to your priest, your rabbi, everybody. You lied. I won't.
I didn't lie. She lied to me. She said she was a girl.
But, Gene, throw all that out. And she comes home and she tells you she was with someone else. You're fine with that?
I may not be. I may have all the complaints in the world, but the choices are, I don't like it, I leave, or I don't like it, I stay. How you feel about something, who cares? Tell me the truth. When you were growing up, and your mom said, if you love me, it's always conditional. If you love me, you won't hang out with Johnny, who's the a-hole down the block.
Right.
Well, you love your mother, but that has nothing to do with what you do. You have some decisions to make for yourself. This is not a comfortable conversation for women because it goes against the biological nature of what it is.
You don't see sexual contact, though, as being something that is also part of love, or so it's so personal between two people that
sometimes more.
Yeah.
Well, it's not
but
always true.
You don't see that, but you've completely disconnected the two.
That's
like
actually
love and sex.
No, I think all you guys think about is your definition of your partner as by a body part. That part belongs to me. But if you want to go shopping with your girlfriends or rub your elbows, no, that's okay. But that piece over there, that's mine.
It's not so much like putting your brand on it.
Yes, it is.
It's more like that. It's not mine, but it's part of the whole relationship.
Well, a relationship is whatever you define it to be. And at the end of the day, I'm going to go back to what I said before. Human beings will do whatever they want to do, no matter what the oaths are, no matter what they say, or no matter what the rules are. That's the truth. And the reason you watch here, Oprah and Martha are possibly the two most powerful women on television. And the housewives of America watch these shows to get marriage counseling advice. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Phil.
Of course, Dr.
Neither Oprah or Martha are married. Duh. And Dr. Phil gives advice. By the way, I know Dr. Phil. He's a cool guy. I respect what he does. But the fallacy in all that is he's giving marriage advice, but he's been divorced.
Right.
I've never been divorced.
It's because you've never been married.
Correct. The biggest cause of divorce is marriage. How about if you just live together? How about if you just live together if you want to, and if you don't, don't. You're not allowed to torture the other person. If you like what's going on, stay. If you don't, be quiet and go away. You're not allowed to torture me.
That's fine. I completely agree with that.
We're done. Also,
that's what Anthony's doing.
That's it. Tell me before. That's called full disclosure before the fact. So I urge every guy to sit down with his beloved, who he intends on marrying, and saying, listen, before we get married, I just want to know what the rules are. I'll tell you my wish list, your wish list. In case we get divorced, because the statistics say we will, how much money do you want? Figure it out now. Not when you hate each other. Talk about money when you love each other.
But then women are going to go, if you love me, you wouldn't say that. And realistically,
then you better run right
realistically,
now.
You'll always have a shot at picking up another 10 because you are who you are. Most guys, if he's got a hot chick, he's terrified of losing her. Like, I can't let this one go.
You just skipped over a big pothole in the ground.
Prostitution?
Well, at least she has the dignity to tell you before how much it's going to cost.
You're preaching to the choir.
That's right. And there's not a lot of talking. Boom. See you bye. Look, if you ask your beloved, if we get divorced, how much money do you want? And she says it's unromantic, run. Run
Where do
right
you run
now.
to? If you're like a regular guy and you make, like, say, $30,000 a year, and it's
why'd you point to Adam when you said that?
Because that's where I would run. He looked like Tony Danza.
Because there are a lot of women. There are a lot of women out there. Because there are a lot of women out there who also don't want to sleep alone.
Yeah, but if you find a girl who you like, and you're not meeting a lot of girls, it's kind of hard for you to tell the one that likes you enough to be with you for a long time. Like, look, these are the rules, bitch. Take it or leave it.
No, that's not what I said. I said full disclosure. No, you positioned it in a way that I did not. I'm talking about full disclosure before the fact. Sit down, be completely honest with each other. The problem with relationships is nobody ever tells each other the full story before. Tell me what the rule. Tell me what you want. I'll tell you what I want. If we don't agree, let's not get together because it's going to be a problem.
We got down and say, honey, party of the first part. We got
to.
It doesn't have to be that way.
We have to take a break. We have to take a break. We're real late. You sticking around, Gene?
What do you got in mind?
I don't know. We could talk a little more after the break, or you can leave.
I think I've got. Do I have a chance? Where's my guy? He's outside.
Where's your guy?
Some guy who's carrying.
All right. Well, we can get the. How about we get the plugs in just in case you're not sitting.
Okay, GeneSimmons.com. Log on to it. You'll be able to jump onto the Gene Simmons Family Jewels MySpace section and the blah blah blah, and see our new Kiss perfume line, which I'm going around.
Oh my God! A Kiss perfume line.
Shampoos, deodorant, everything. I'll be going around the country.
Wow.
Gene Simmons showed this to me in the green room. There's a Gene Simmons Kiss stamp. I
Of course.
thought that was so
Oh yeah,
cool.
you can go to any post office. It's only 39 cents.
It is brilliant. We should have some Opie and Anthony
And
cologne.
of course, by the way, when you go on to genesimmons.com, you'll be able to log on, click on to the Kiss, the Canon camera, which just debuted in Japan. So you'll see the Japanese TV commercial. And when you're in Myrtle Beach, go to the first of a new franchise, the Kiss Coffee Houses, which is spreading across the country.
Stop it.
We had Kiss
You're kidding.
condoms and Kiss caskets. We'll get you coming. We'll get you going.
They just called up Ace Frehley has an artificial heart.
Oh, that's not
Ace
nice.
Frehley artificial heart.
No, we love Ace.
All right, Gene, it's always a pleasure. Family Jewels on A&E, what, Monday nights? 10 o'clock?
Monday nights, and they repeat it throughout. And, of course, log on to, find out Nickelodeon. Get your kids to watch My Dad the Rockstar. It's a great show.
All right. It's the ONA virus spreading across America. Gene Simmons, everyone. Hey, Digger Dog from Akron, Ohio. Very pissed off at us. I can't believe the way you kissed Gene's ass.
What?
What a bunch of dishonest a-holes. He S's on you and you take it like a bunch of bitches.
What happened?
Are you going to let Howard come in next week? What is he talking about?
Oh, is he talking about my incident with Gene?
Huh?
How did Gene crap on the show?
What happened?
I don't know. He's not explaining. Explain further, Digger Dog, or give us a call.
We can never.
I was just walking with
never
Gene.
satisfy.
I had a lyrics question.
Look, his really fast. His take on marriage and stuff is very, very interesting. But I'm convinced he's not banging broads behind his sort of wife's back. He's been with her 23 years, maybe in the beginning. I don't know. I'm not in that house, but right now, no way is he getting away with that.
She's sexy, man. Why would you?
Yeah.
No way is that.
Tolerating that.
Huh?
He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
It's probably more for show. I mean, look, Shannon Tweed is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And we pushed him on it, and, it was obviously he was only going to say so much.
Why are you letting him dictate like this? Call him out on this BS.
Well, I did.
We did.
We called him out on everything he said. Everything he talked about, we called him out on.
He didn't change his opinion. We didn't change ours. That's the way it's gonna be.
What did you miss? What weren't you listening? What were you hearing?
I pointed out that he was a rock star, and like a regular guy has trouble saying that to a chick because of this and that. Well, how else? What am I going to do? Jump on him? That's what he's Gene Simmons. Yeah. Oh, what do you want a boy to say?
We asked
I'm
the question.
A small boy.
We asked the questions. We pushed him as much as we can.
Yes.
We asked what she gets out of the relationship. He didn't really go there. We asked him what would you do if she came home and said she was banging some other dude.
He admitted it might bother him. He said,
Yes.
I'd be bothered.
This ass from his mobile device. Worst interview ever. We get it. You're the only real man and everyone else are stupid. If it wasn't for Kiss, you would be at a bar.
At a bar?
At a what?
At a BA.
Either he got cut off, or a BA is a place that bad people go.
I don't know.
I never want to be
You
at the
don't want to
BA.
go to a bar.
Anthony called him a Vulcan. Yeah, you're right, Scott in Boston. I thought it was a fine interview. Worst interview ever?
Yeah,
Let's not forget about Dustin Diamond. Let's not forget about Balloon Animal Guy from Jersey.
I said he was rude. I said he was interrupted me very rudely.
That's right. I totally threw you under the bus for something that you accused Mr. Simmons of.
Of course.
Halfway through the interview, I went, Gene, can you breathe fire? I just wanted to say it.
I just never talk.
I pointed out that didn't you play guitar in a band once?
I like
that was funny, though.
I know.
Dignity salvaging mission.
Come on.
Let's go to Dan the trucker. Dan.
I'm a worm.
Dirty look.
They miss all that.
I didn't. I would have. I just followed him to ask him a lyrics question, and he was like singing the lyrics and explaining this. If he would have, I was telling Hope, if he would have walked down in the elevator, I just would have got on with him, and I wouldn't have left, but I would have went down to the lobby and probably to the garage.
Yeah, during the break, just walking down the hall with Gene, and Gene singing
left.
lyrics to Jimmy. It made Jimmy's day.
Yeah.
It made Funny Man Jim Norton's
Funny
day.
man.
You don't get that very often.
Let's go to Dan, the trucker. Dan.
How you doing, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, you guys are quite lame out there doing that interview. Let me tell you, losing your pepper, as they say.
Well, what would you like us to do? I'm not too sure.
What, you don't understand what I'm saying, Jimmy? Why don't you clean out your ears, you big fat...
No, Dan, that's not getting anything done.
Dan,
We honestly don't know what you mean.
What are you saying?
So we're giving you the chance to tell us what you mean.
Give us an example
Don't try to be funny or cutting. Just say what you got to say.
Give us an example of lameness
And what we
in
should
that
have done, Dan.
interview and what we should have done, Dan.
I
the
think
trucker.
you got to get him PO'd a little bit more. You know?
Really?
Every time you felt intimidated every time he would say something.
We should get him riled up. Is that what you're saying? Is that what your idea of a good interview is?
We actually like Gene Simmons.
Get him riled up.
I liked his talk on the Indy cars. I thought that was very interesting.
The guy doesn't get riled up.
I almost drove off the side of the road.
We wish you would have. We could have saved us this call.
Why didn't you just change the channel, Dan? That's what I do when something's lame or boring.
I won't be ignored, Dan.
I did. I went over to the Oprah station for a little bit.
No, you didn't. Now you're just being silly and trying to make a joke.
That's right.
You actually went over to the Oprah channel that hasn't started yet. They're
giving a preview of the Oprah channel and Friends, 156.
Look, Dan, it's not going to go on our highlight reel, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, what do you want us to... I don't want to get him riled up for. He wasn't being a dick to anybody in the studio. He was just talking about... That's what Gene's spiel is. That's what he does. That's what he said. What are you going to do? Well, yell at him?
One of these days, we will surprise the audience. I want to do this. I want to book a guest.
Yeah.
And just to make people like Dan happy, I want to have them sit down. We go on. We introduce them. And then we all get up and just start punching the guest in the face.
That's right.
How great would that be?
Then the call's going to be Dan going, I can't believe that you punched that little retarded boy. What's wrong with you?
It doesn't have to be a retarded boy,
I know you. It's going to be a retarded boy.
You've made it a better bit, though, because...
All right, someone else is going to explain.
It'd be fun.
Boy with Benny Hill music.
Anthony in Jersey.
Marks on your knuckles.
Anthony.
Yeah, you guys were very lame with that interview there.
Okay. Now, why?
Every time Gene Simmons was saying you people don't have any idea, he was definitely talking about you guys.
No, he was talking about you guys.
None of us are married.
We're not married, you dumb...
How is he talking about us if not one of us is married? We got like 10 or 12 people. Oh, Steve's the only one married out of about... And Club Soda Kenny.
We're not married.
All right, you talk, sir. You would know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Talk. It's all about you.
So, sir, why was he talking about us?
You guys got to defend your listeners.
I did, you idiot.
You know what?
What did Jimmy...
I did defend you, stupid.
What did Jimmy
say? I said the average person out there can't do that.
Because they're not Kiss. They're not
Kiss. I said that. You are who you are.
You didn't hear that?
You'll have another shot.
Can I tell you something about you?
Why are you talking over my explanation, mister?
Can I tell you something about you pussy-whipped asses? I watched the phones when we were doing an interview, right? Not one of you mother effers called to defend yourselves. I'm not married. Anthony's not married. Jimmy's not married. He's talking crap about marriage.
Adam's not married.
And hold on. And I was looking at the phones going, well, this would be a great opportunity to get a guy that's married on the phone that completely disagrees with Gene. Guess what? Couldn't find one. Not one.
Thank you. I did defend them.
Rules.
It wasn't defending the listeners. But that I believed in the point, which is like, look, most guys, myself included, cannot get away with that. You think I don't want to tell my girlfriend, like, look, here's the way it is?
Yeah.
I want, well, first of all, I probably don't want her to sleep with other people because she'll better deal me in a second. But you understand, believe me, I lose that proposition.
But it's the same thing. It's like, you got to tell her you're the king of the castle, Norton. And, you go home and you got someone that loves you. You're not going to screw it up.
And you're
not Gene Simmons.
The base of what he was saying was actually correct. Beforehand, both be honest with each other and say what you expect. You really can't argue that point if it's done that way.
But that's why I called him a Vulcan. He lacks any real life emotion that people have.
I agree.
Or that's whatever. That's like the act that he's doing. I don't know. But that on paper, in a digital world of ones and zeros, what he's saying is fine.
Never smoked, never drank, never smoked a cigarette.
But it doesn't work in real life application.
Can I tell you something, too? We've been doing radio a long time. Stupid me. Sometimes I think when a guest is talking and saying his stuff, it's very obvious to the listeners that the guest may be full of crap and that he's burying himself. Okay? That's what I was looking like, Gene, come on. You're trying to tell me that you're able to just leave your house and bang broads and come home and Shannon's not going to say or do anything?
He never gave a real answer to that anyway.
Of course not.
And the reason I didn't say
guess what? He probably never found real love. He probably married a face. A lot of people marry a face and don't even realize that they're not in love.
Yes.
I didn't say much.
It is the Oprah channel.
Because I was staring at Gene Simmons.
Yeah, you were in love. That's all I saw out of Jimmy. Love.
I was staring at Gene Simmons.
Let's go to Andrea in
Hey, what's up, guys?
in New York City.
That's what I was doing.
You know what? Hold on. It is downright creepy. Jimmy is really famous. But there are people that come in and he turns into a little kid.
Yep.
He starts staring at his face and his hands and what he's wearing and up. It's creepy.
But it's not. It's like I'm listening. First of all, he was wearing really cool sunglasses. I didn't know where he was looking. So it's like it's kind of weird when someone.
You.
I thought that too.
You were hoping
talking to me.
No homo.
No, he's my
Walk me to
oldest.
the elevator. I'll sing you a song.
My longest running idol is Gene Simmons. His Kiss.
Bigger than Ozzy?
Longer than Ozzy. I love Ozzy more.
Right.
But longer than.
So Gene was your first.
Beyond since
Your first.
Since I was 8. It's 30 years.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's 18 years. An age joke.
All right, let's go to Andrea in New York City. Andrea.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
What's up? I think what Gene said was really good, but talking about what you want ahead of time, you can't tell people what they want if you don't know what they want. Most people don't even know what they want. So that's kind of puts holes in his whole Vulcan theory, I guess. Hello?
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out what you were saying and circumnavigate
All right, thank
Norton's
you.
photo on the Pal Talk camera.
Thanks.
Let's go to Rich in New Jersey. Rich.
Hey guys, how are you?
Welcome aboard, Rich.
What's up, Rich?
Thank you. Long time.
Yeah, good.
I think what the listeners were kind of getting ticked off about was the interview was good. Anthony, I like the way you went back to him. I think what people are catching is that he got on his soapbox.
Yes,
but that's what Gene does.
That's his thing, dude. It's like
that's all he does.
Cares?
We all know that, and I think it speaks for itself. I don't think we need to accent that stuff.
Anyone who's heard Gene Simmons, you're really not going to get anything different out of him. That's
sometimes the best thing you could do as a radio talk show host is just let the guest talk, and the listener could figure out a lot of stuff by just listening to the guest.
Yeah, and you've heard him enough before that you kind of know. Talking out of
I think it's hilarious when he starts just promoting, Kiss Coffins, Kiss Coffee Shops. Do you really need us to go, wow, you're really like a whore at this point?
Stop overly promoting.
Funny as hell to hear what his new stuff they're popping out over there.
It's just good to listen to him, whore that stuff out.
My only regret is that I didn't, because he speaks a bunch of languages.
Unzip his, what? What's your only regret?
I wanted to ask him to say something in, like, Japanese, but
that would have been adorable.
We could have.
The only thing that was
You buy Kiss Coffin.
By the way, that wasn't Funny Man Jim Norton. That was Opie. That doesn't get credit for being funny.
I'm not going to do that because we're putting out the Kiss Fortune cookies. Are you?
Domi arigato?
Yes, go ahead, Rich.
Hey, guys, the only thing I was thinking of as he was going through the philosophical part of his speech, I kept running through my mind was that coffin, the Kiss coffin.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to take a guy serious at times.
Oh, my God. Now someone's saying no one called him out on being a sellout.
Oh, my God.
First of all,
what year is this?
First of all, we have. Second of all, like I just said, it's fun just to hear him whoring out his stuff, knowing what it's all about.
How is he a sellout, though? Kiss has been, I will say this.
All right, now I'll speak up.
The best marketed band, they have been on lunchboxes and on posters and dolls since 1976. How can you say that obviously he's a sellout? They've been doing that their whole career. That was part of what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And he's honest about it.
It's nothing new, yeah. Why call him out on that?
How he's talking about all he wants to do is bang different shit. How is it a sellout? He's not denouncing something that he formerly was. Well, to me, that's what a sellout is.
Here's Barry.
Barry. You would know.
It's one thing to want to make money. It's one thing to want to do well for yourself. But come on, a Kiss coffee shop. I mean, just.
But how is that a sellout?
Did you hear us laugh when he said that? That spoke volumes.
He laughed.
No.
He even knows at this point.
Silly.
Like, look what I'm getting away with.
But
now I got a Kiss coffee shop.
Why is it bad, dude? Like, how is that being a sellout? That's what I don't get.
You want to know what a marketing genius Gene Simmons is? We're still talking about it.
There you go, Adam Ferrara.
Wait, hold on,
the lines are all full.
I hung up on him. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm really sorry. People say it was a great interview. It wasn't a great interview. It was an okay interview. It was just what it was.
It was what it was. It was Gene being Gene.
Sonny Ferrelli.
That's what you're going to get.
Hey, guys, listen. I kind of agree with the rest of the people. I think the interview lacked cringe humor. I mean, that's what I think everybody.
Does everything have to be cringy on this show?
Well, I
we like to keep you guys guessing.
A call from Steve from Yellowstone probably would have been.
No, I couldn't do it. I would never have called Gene like that. I can't do it, dude. I can't. Steve from Yellowstone, Gene Simmons. I can't do it. Couldn't do it to Ozzy Osbourne ever.
No.
Ever.
Jimmy's too big a fan.
Hey, guys, suck. Bye.
I would just call and go,
sir.
Ramon, I love this man, and I'd hang up.
And we'd be like, what happened to him?
Yeah.
By the way,
I'd
thank
be
you.
Frank the Smiler.
All right, so I love the interview. Gene is a genius. It was a fine interview. It was okay. It was boring. I think Gene's a douchebag. There you go.
I'll accept this. If
There
people
you
thought
go.
it was boring, okay, because you let a guy talk and you don't like it, whatever. But, like, he is a smart dude, and what is an interview supposed to be? Like, you know what he says, what he does, that's how he feels. We challenge him on certain points. He feels the way he feels. So what, you're supposed to change somebody's opinion?
Dude,
We are.
What was it? 10 minutes?
I like the way
Shut
he
up.
talks about that, even though I wish I could pull it off.
Couple
The
people,
whole NASCAR Indy feud coming up.
couple people are pointing this out, you know, and I don't hide. Eric from Wyoming. Yes, I did say on this show that I think his reality show sucks, and I should have said something. I just wasn't feeling it.
Oh,
to be
I've
honest
never
with you.
seen it.
To be honest with you, I just wasn't feeling it. We did play clips from the show, and we were pretty damn bored.
I never saw it.
And I didn't like it. And yes, I should have said something. You're right. I'm not going to hide. I did say that on a past show, but I just wasn't. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling going after the guy.
He wasn't being. Here's the thing, man. It's like when a guy's not being confrontational, and he wasn't being. He was just being himself. He wasn't busting balls or everything in the studio. So why? I don't know. Whatever, man.
All right. It's the
I'm
ONA
a woman,
virus.
I know it.
Spreading across
Oh.
America. Adam Ferrara in studio. We haven't even announced him officially.
The Adam Ferrara thermos. The Adam
Yes.
press-on birthmark you can have. Be like Adam at school.
I would like to welcome my friend, not Gene, to the
Thank you.
studio.
We're back with the Opie and Anthony show. The ONA virus spreading across America. Live to win. I like it. I mean, we only heard, 10 seconds of it so far, but that's the latest from Paul Stanley, who's sitting in our studio right now. Live to Win off the CD, Live to Win, of course.
I just came in from my mancation.
I know, I'm sorry.
Mancation. How pathetic.
He's sitting there drinking his, coffee, whatever, in the green room and waiting, and we decided to go with Mancations instead of Paul Stanley, so now I'm embarrassed. If it was great radio, then you maybe would understand.
Who would want to go away with a bunch of guys and act like you're in high school?
Isn't that what you did for many years?
Yeah. I was fresh out of high school.
It's called your career.
Yeah, I was fresh out of high school.
They want to just make believe they're a rock star, too.
Talking about, because we were talking during the commercial break and stuff, and it sounds like there was a little mancationing going on early in the early days of Kiss.
Yeah, but a time and place for everything,
Yeah.
It's nothing more pathetic than seeing a bunch of old guys leaving their old wives behind. I don't know.
Going out to be guys again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well.
can I have my junk back, please? Could you take it out of your purse and I could slap it back on and be a man for a week?
Jesus.
It's like kind of weird. Like it's funny when rock stars look at like regular people. Like what a bunch of nerds you are. Got to go away and play golf because like all these guys do. I mean, is like you just basically kick chicks off. That's got to be the fun part of being in a band like that. Is like you just fight over. All right, well you banged that one, but I had that one yesterday, and I'll take this one now.
When you finally settle down, hopefully it's not somebody you want to get away from. Jesus.
That's sort of what I was getting at.
But again, this is for like regular guys. When you're Paul Stanley, when you've like looked through the filing cabinet and you've gone through 4,500 different things, you're like, all right, I'm in love with this person now. Most guys might have a few, 5 or 6, like that gal from college was nice. But when you're in Kiss and you're the front man from Kiss, man, you've gone through quite a few different options, I'm sure. And
Yeah, there must have. There must have just been a frenzy.
It's been
back in the
It's been everything that people think, and then more.
And more.
I mean, it's more than I could have ever imagined.
You told us all the good stuff during the commercial, so now we got to make believe we didn't hear any of that stuff.
Yeah, he had some good stuff talking about Ace Frehley because I'm a big fan. I met the band one time. I got a photo with the band. It was Peter, Gene, Paul, and it was Tommy in Ace's makeup, who looks just like Ace on stage. And Ace, I'm like obsessed with meeting now because I have not. He's the one guy in the band I haven't met.
Ace is a great guy. He didn't make it to my show Saturday night, but he's I give him a lot of credit. He's been fighting to stay clean and sober, and he's doing a great job of it and takes it real seriously. And he's one of those people who used to believe that he was a victim of everybody else's injustices. And once he got his head on straight, he realized, he said to me, "How'd you ever put up with me before?" And he's a great guy, and I like him more now than ever.
Do you think that like him or Peter, like when they were out of the band, like a few years later, look back and went, I am not in Kiss anymore. Like what an idiot I am. Like why would you leave that, or why would you do what caused you to get thrown out of that band?
I think there were other circumstances when you start mixing chemicals and everything else, and I don't think anybody's thinking straight, no matter how much they might think so. I mean, here's guys who won the lottery twice. They came back into the band again, and unfortunately found the same exit door.
That's got to be a hell of a moment of clarity, though. When your moment of clarity is,
oh my God, wait, I was in Kiss. You know, it's not just like, oh damn, I lost my car or something. It's like, wait, was I in Kiss? What happened?
Yeah, I lost that job at the garage.
It's the door closes behind you and it doesn't open again. You know, or you call people's bluff and everybody says there's the door.
So when they came back, I remember, I think it was during an MTV Unplugged thing. It was a huge moment that Peter and Ace came back out and you guys played together. How long did it take, say, when you decided to tour again for like for the honeymoon to be over again? Like, oh, we still have some kind of problems here.
You know, it's like you ever have like an ex-girlfriend that you go, you know, why did I break up with her? She was kind of, she was hot, good looking, and then you go back with her, and on the first date you go, now I remember.
See, that's the beauty of being me. I kill them.
So it's kind of like the time to find out you don't want to be with your ex is not when you're in bed with them, you know. But look, we had a great second run, made a whole lot of money, made a lot of people happy, and but unfortunately, you know, some certain individuals have problems that just kept coming up, and you know, by the end of the farewell tour, I kind of realized that I didn't want to say farewell to the fans. I wanted to say farewell to some of the guys in the band. Right. You know, I didn't want to stop the band, you know, so we're still around.
Well, doing solo stuff, do you find that you want to do stuff that you couldn't do in Kiss? Like, you got a solo album out. Are you saying to yourself, like, all right, well, this is something that they probably would have wanted to change directions in, but I would want to do, so you do your own thing, or is it just kind of like working with the other three guys anyway?
Well, when you do a solo album, it's different, because when you do a band album, then I'm writing for the strengths and weaknesses of the guys who are playing. You know, when I do a solo album, I get to write what I want and then bring in the people who fit the song. So, but in terms of playing live, they're all my songs anyway. You know, it's kind of like all my unruly kids get to come out with me. So, you know, I mean, whether it's Love Gun or Detroit Rock City or I Want You or any of those songs, they're mine. So, you know, I get to play those. I get to play stuff from my first solo album, stuff from Live to Win. And it's been awesome.
Yeah, that's what surprised me. This is only your second solo album after all these years.
Yeah, 28 years later. I said if I wait another 28 years, the next one will be called Hope to Live. But seriously, folks, try the veal.
Yeah. I was surprised, though. You would think you would have, you know, maybe had a few more solo albums out there.
I mean, it's no secret. Some of the other guys in the band are always running off and doing other things. And I just had this feeling that if we all run off, there won't be a band to come back to. So I kind of became like I felt like the caretaker, kind of like keeping things afloat. And finally I reached a point where I just thought everything's pretty steady and solid at Kiss, so let me go off and do what I need to do.
And when the front man kind of goes off and does his own thing, it really conjures up, especially the rumor mill gets going, like, oh boy, it's got to be over.
Nah, you know, I think that the stronger each member is, the stronger the band is.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make myself happy, you know. I mean, it's great to go out. I mean, it goes back to the reasons I started playing in the first place. It was just music. I mean, there's no bombs, there's no pyro. It's just me on stage with a great band. And to me, it's more like the days when I used to go to the Fillmore and see, you know, Humble Pie, Zeppelin, Derek and the Dominoes, you know, a bunch of guys with amplifiers and guitars just preaching rock and roll.
Do you look back on your stuff, like like everyone has like those moments you look back on your thing, you're like, I wish this was better. Is there anything you look back on, like musically, like one song you'll hear and you go, ugh, why did we do that like that you wish you could fix, that you just look back on and cringe?
You know, I mean, there's some songs that I'm not crazy about. There's a couple of albums that I'm not crazy about. But when we were doing them, they were the best we could do at that time. So, you know, everything I did got me here. So the good, the bad, the ugly, you know.
Right.
That's why I'm sitting here.
Hey, Jimmy, can you tell your Kiss story? It's really embarrassing.
Paul is, and I'll be very honest. I'm a Sabbath freak, an Ozzy freak, and a Kiss freak. But Kiss was my first. Long before Sabbath was Kiss. I'd say Paul Stanley is probably my first idol as a kid growing up. And I finally got to meet the band. It was my friend Wendy is close with Gene, and it was the dumbest luck of the garden. And I got a photo with the band. And it's really embarrassing when I look at them. And I was so, it was very childhood of me. I got to stand in front of Paul for the band, and there was like four of us, and the band's behind us. And Paul, what he does for the photo is he puts his arm on your shoulder, like from behind, because you have the heels on, so you're much taller. And I was such a douche. I took my head and I tilted it to the right, and it touched his arm, and I almost like held his, but it wasn't like a gay thing. I know it sounds like it is, because like
you go on mancations and
I really should. I should go on to Rikers Island with my hands gripping my ankles after this story. But it was like I felt like a little kid, and then I'm like, what are you doing? And I have the picture here. Of course, I love it signed. If you don't want to rip it up and throw it in my fat face, oh, it's just horrid. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, you got to show him because
he kind of downplayed what he's doing.
On almost like a kid would with his father on a line at a ride at an amusement park.
If this doesn't make you want to throw up, let's see if people on Pal Talk can see it.
They can't because Pal Talk's off right now. We'll be on over there. Oh, that camera works? Okay.
I get it. The cool thing about Kiss is it brings everybody back to a special time in their lives. I mean, when you hear Kiss, when you hear certain songs, you remember who you were sleeping with, where you were eating food. You remember like those moments in your life, and they sometimes meeting the band can reduce you to that childlike state.
What a nice guy he is. What he should have said was, Jim, you're a douche.
Well,
but he just gave the nicest explanation.
And Jim, that's not the story I was thinking about. You're telling the easier of the two stories.
Oh, the cute one when you were a real little kid.
Your dreams with Helen and.
Oh, when I was well, again.
Okay, this is
creepy. You might want to leave after
I was born in '68, so I'd have to say this is '76. Probably I was like 8 years old, probably right around Destroyer time. I had an imaginary play friend who was named Helen. She was a middle-aged woman with a beehive hairdo. I don't know what happened to me. Boy, there's one neighbor out there with photographs.
Check.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it so casual. Yes, he had an imaginary friend named Helen with a beehive hairdo.
But my fantasy when I was a kid, I know it sounds crazy, and it wasn't perverted. It was just an odd fantasy I would have that Kiss would show up to my apartment with their makeup and costumes and beat me up and hurt me and throw me down the stairs. And then when I was sad, they would just hug me and make me feel better.
When you were sad from being thrown down the stairs.
Of course, as you would be when your four heroes showed up and threw you down the stairs and beat you.
After that, shortly after that, was it right after you
make
fell?
You feel better, yeah.
They would come down and hug you and make you feel better.
Folks, we have all kinds of fans.
How awkward is
great
that?
answer. See? Hey, all kinds of fans.
I understand. He understands, Jimmy.
Wow.
And I tell those stories. I'm a comic, so I tell those stories on stage. I talk about it now. But when I realized what I had done in that photo, and again, I don't want it to come off like it's a homoerotic thing because I can't even look at it. It's like really douche.
Yeah, I bet.
But look back on it, you're like, what's the matter with me? I'm a 38-year-old
funny thing? I swear to you, I think when we went out on the Grammys, before we went out on the reunion tour, we surprised everybody by walking out and giving one of the awards. And we'd been gone for like 17 years. And the four of us walked out, and I never saw so many bands in an audience turn 6 years old. I mean, everybody's eyes got big. And, these guys from these very serious bands suddenly were, they were kids again.
Yeah.
There's something about Kiss that's eternal and timeless. And, as long as we can slap on that makeup and not eat too much, we pretty much look the same.
Well, my dad took me to see you guys in. I want to say you were working with Cheap Trick. I don't remember if they ever opened for you.
Yeah, Cheap Trick. We took them out of the clubs and took them on their first tour.
Was that the first concert your father took you to, or what was the first?
Yeah. I remember there might have been another show before that.
I don't remember any other concert my father might have taken me to.
Oh, come on, do tell.
Yeah, which one was that?
Yeah,
well, there was
Helen with you.
You and your dad.
I don't know.
Helen, you bought 3 seats just in case she showed up.
Well, it was the infamous Village People Sister Sledge tour.
I missed that one.
Yeah, it was really good, probably because you were with girls. That's why you missed it. I don't know what's the matter with me.
With his dad,
the Village People. They must have thought we were some kind of a weird like Chelsea couple. I don't know why he would take me to that, because I liked We Are Family, but I think I kind of like the Village People. I think Felipe Rose was my favorite, the Indian. I always thought he was the coolest in the Village People if I had to choose. But I don't remember if that was before or after Kiss, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I want to say it was December 16th, I know that, because I actually bought a bus ad off of...
that was, I think it was 1977, and it was, there were 3 nights at the Garden.
Yes, it was. It was the final night.
Trick. There you go.
Final night at the Garden, and my dad actually just got. I bought off there was a bus ad I bought off eBay. Like it was the Alive 2. It looked like the Alive 2 cover. Yeah. And so I went and saw you guys in '96, and it was amazing how it was choreographed the same. It was great. It brought you right back because it wasn't a bunch of bitter guys. Playing, just to get the money. It was like the same show.
Well, it was
amazing.
We were like determined to make sure that people got what they remembered, not necessarily what actually was, because the shows during the 70s were small. but they were bigger than everybody else. So what we had to do was multiply it and bring back what people, what those legendary shows were, which was very different than what actually
Well, that's really
existed.
odd. You wouldn't think that. You kind of remember things a lot bigger. And
yeah, it's like when, I don't know if you ever go back to like an old house that you lived in when you were a kid, and you go, it's so small, But same thing, we had to build like this show that was actually not the real show, but was what people fantasized that show to be. And then we made everybody go to the gym. Everybody had trainers. I mean, the worst thing would have been to have, this band come back and look like, Meatloaf.
Well, that's where the problem was, because Ann and I went and saw the comeback tour in Boston, and we noticed you guys were still in great shape with the makeup, and then we looked at the audience, and ooh. They were trying to squeeze into their old rock outfits. They should have hit the gym before they hit the Kiss concert.
A good night was had by all.
There you go.
He ain't trashing
Everyone enjoyed the show.
Right.
We enjoyed looking around and seeing girls that probably were hot back in the day and trying to wear the same exact.
I was looking at their daughters. What do you?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, that's the beauty of being in the band is you can pass the mothers off to the other audience members and then hit the daughters. That's got to be the beautiful part about it.
2 generations of banging.
In the late 70s, when Kiss became much more family oriented and more family friendly, we would have all these moms bring their kids, and we'd be on stage and you'd see this hot mom with a 7-year-old, and you go, seat A, row 13. You tell your guy, and lo and behold, mom would bring little Jimmy backstage after the show, and you'd send him for autographs and say hi to mom.
And she'd earn the signatures. How great is that? How fantastic. You guys, the amazing thing about Kiss is that you were so probably the best photograph band ever. You guys so understood what worked in whether it was the Chopper poster series or what a brilliant idea, the comics, the Kiss comic books that you had your own blood taken out and put into the ink.
We put blood into the red ink. I was just happy they didn't want anything for the yellow ink. I mean, it's just
your
Jim might have liked
that. But it was conceptually, you guys were so great, and then you did the 4 solo albums, almost so everybody could get that off their chest or get out of their systems without the band breaking up.
This man does. Either you did your homework or you're the true fan.
Oh no, I'm a fan.
He is the ultimate.
Awesome.
I had no questions pre-planned. The only thing I pre-planned to ask you was, is there anything because we get trashed on message boards and stuff? Is there anything the fans have trashed you for? We're going to catch a little crap where you're like, ugh, why do you have to bash that? Is there one thing that they went after you for that really bothered you more than anything? That they shouldn't have trashed you for?
No, everything's. You should see the house that Bad Reviews built. I mean, it's all good. People can say what they want.
There's once in a while a fan will just say one thing, they criticize me for this, that, and okay, but then there's that one thing, it's ugh, why that? Why don't you get what I'm doing there? Everything else you can trash, but that, could you leave alone?
He could just go, seat 3, row.
Yeah, it's all
right.
good. It's all good.
And everything's all better again.
Yeah, I want to get back to that. Did you guys have just one guy that would take care of that for you and get the hotties backstage?
In the very early days, we had something called the chicken coop. I know it's not very, socially acceptable to call it that, but we would have a room at the end of the show that was full at the hotel of all the women. And we'd go back to our hotel rooms, take off the makeup and all that, and you get a phone call, chicken coop's room 317, and you'd go down and, you'd pick your playmate for the evening.
Wow.
How afraid of you were you of cameras? Because the thing in the 70s was there a photo of Kiss? Was that really Gene with Cher or a photo? Which when you look back, there were actually some photos taken of you guys.
Sure.
You always deny.
Yeah, but it was so funny because I think that media didn't want to kill a good thing. So
yeah, back then they played along. Nowadays it's completely different because they talk about how everyone knew about Kennedy banging broads in the White House, but the media was like, that's none of our business. Now, of course,
it was so much
changed.
easier. Yeah, you look back at all these presidents and what they were doing, and now, Jesus, you know what they had for breakfast, but then, what was going on with Kennedy or Johnson or any of those guys or Hoover.
Jesus, the mystique of the whole.
Oh, he was a naughty one, that J. Edgar.
Yeah, that J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah. That was one for you.
Oh, he was a saucy one. Him and Mark Foley would have had a lovely IM chat. So what figurine are you dressing up like?
And if you don't know what we're talking about, you can look it up on the Google.
Yeah. The Google, right?
Yes.
Google.
Just put in parentheses Clyde Tolson and J. Edgar Hoover, and they'll probably come out in one.
That's right, Clyde Tolson.
How do you not love him? And Melvin Purvis, he had a whole thing for, but they kind of.
Melvin Purvis, G-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
And I actually really like the CD a lot. I don't mean actually like I was surprised, but you never know, like when somebody that you love is putting something out, you always want it to be good. Like it's always nervous, and I got an advance copy, and I really dug it, man. I like it a lot.
You know, some people said to me they expected something that would sound like the continuation of the first solo album. It was 28 years later, so you know, to go in and do a retro album, you know, the last thing I wanted to do was try to pick up where I left off. It's a long time ago, so. But the heart and soul of the album's the same. I mean, you know, the things that I loved about music are all in there, and you know, the philosophy is the same. I mean, what got me where I am is that, you know, live to win. You pick your goals, you pick what you aspire to do, and you don't let anybody get in the way. So that way, at least if you fail, you still win. I mean, if you lose on your own terms, you're still a winner.
Mm-hmm. Have you and Gene ever had a little discussion about his? Maybe being a little overzealous with the marketing of Kiss.
Sure. Yeah, you know, look, we're very different people, and as much as possible, we try to stay eye to eye on Kiss stuff. But you know, sometimes things that he does outside of Kiss somehow, you know, it's kind of like the Tar Baby. It gets stuck to Kiss when it really has nothing to do with us. I mean, you know, I can't stop him from doing his. Whatever he is doing today.
Whatever he is.
You know, and somehow what gets tagged on, understandably, is Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, reality TV, I'd rather take a bullet in the head.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but, you know.
I mean, do you, as a member of Kiss, does it kind of get to you that there's so much overexposure because of what kind of, how many products he's putting out and different types of products that really have nothing to do with the band? It's pretty much just the name, and then, you know, get the product out.
We put out a lot of products, but the truth is that we would never put out anything that people don't want. You know, I mean, you'd be an idiot to put out merchandise that nobody buys. Right. So my problem is never with the merchandise. I just don't think that you have to stand on a soapbox and tell everybody, you know, all about it. You know, there's you know, I would just prefer everything be out there and people will buy it, and we're not waving our hands going, look what we're selling.
Gotcha.
How was it doing Phantom of the Opera?
It was very cool. You know, it was another, you know, anytime I can do something that kind of pushes the envelope is very cool. So to do 8 shows a week in a legit, you know, show, and I think it had run 10 years in Toronto, and I did the last 6 months. 8 shows a week, standing ovations every show.
That's great. A lot of work, huh?
Yeah, hard, man. You know, I mean, it brought a whole different sensibility to, you know, bands coming in and saying, my finger hurts, or I hurt my toe.
Yeah.
You know, these people go out there and kill it every night, you know, 8 times a week.
We are getting, the music is starting, which we haven't on a computer because we're on a 3-hour time, and then the next show comes in and we do the walkover for XM. So I think Paul is doing the walkover with us.
Yeah, I'm hearing there's a nice crowd CDs, outside. So. And
it's called Live to Win. It's your first solo album in 28 years. I mean, it's real easy as a fan to say I love the CD, but I did love the CD. I mean, you know, it's comfortable to say that. I probably would have lied anyway because I love Paul Stanley, but it's a great CD.
Well, we'll play Live to Win over at XM too when we get over there. We'll play the whole song for you, Paul.
I'm really happy, man. Your voice is held up great. It just kicks ass.
Yeah, the CD's Live to Win. The first single's Live to Win.
What's that?
What does Helen think?
Helen loved it very much. Her and Jimmy Robinson, who was kind of like Jimmy Norton but in a cape. And Helen, me and Jimmy Robinson hated Jimmy Norton. I don't know what happened, but there's some older gentleman with a story to tell, I'm sure.
It's true too. He's been telling this story for many, many years. Also, are you guys are doing a signing, or you're doing a signing, Paul?
Yeah, actually, Gene will hook up with me tomorrow, and we'll be signing Kissology DVDs and Kiss perfume, and we'll be in the parade tomorrow.
It's Virgin in Times Square, right?
Yeah.
For the signing?
Kissology, we were just talking before you came in, is again all this old 6 hours of old footage and live?
Yeah, vintage concerts from San Francisco, Houston, Detroit. Us rehearsing without makeup in the early days, us playing a club in the early days.
That's cool.
Very cool stuff.
That's great. Better than buying a bootleg because the quality is there, the whole show is there.
This is first generation stuff.
All right, they're going to cut us off. Paul Stanley, thank you. He's doing the walk over to XM with us. If you're not joining us at XM, have yourself a great day.
Joining the Opie and Anthony XM walkover today, Paul Stanley from the legendary rock band Kiss, handing out copies of his new CD, Live to Win. The Opie and Anthony XM walkover begins now.
We walk together. We should get in a group so it's like we got so security can take care of it.
Wow, we got a crowd outside today. Thanks to Paul Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it for Paul Stanley.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey. I feel like I'm running for office.
Yeah, we don't get this reaction when we're alone. It's usually just two fat
of course
guys.
not. The same two every time.
All right, so do we have CDs to hand out too?
Yeah, we're doing Christmas early. Is that what we're doing?
Signed copies of the new CD.
Live to Win.
Live to Win. Thank you.
In
yes.
stores now.
Did it actually come out today, or is it?
It came out about a week ago. So I'm telling people don't download it. It's against the law, and I'm also trying to make next month's rent.
Yeah, that sucks. Do you let your shit be put on iTunes, or do you purposely keep it off?
No, iTunes is cool because you get a royalty. But the whole idea of people talking about sharing files, that's like me saying I'm going to share your car. I mean, I don't.
Oh, right, Jimmy wouldn't mind that at all.
Well, yeah, if you don't mind being in a fucking Saturn with prostitute stuff in it.
And Helen, let's not forget Helen.
And Helen.
So did Helen ever disappear? Or is she
I
still
can't
around?
believe I'm discussing Helen with Paul Stanley. This is very therapeutic. I don't know, because Jim. What happened was it was like Helen and I would be there, and then Jimmy Robinson was me, but it was just me in a cape, and we would kind of all agree that we hated Jimmy Norton.
Who was him?
Which was me.
You're talking to now, yeah.
But I don't know where Helen came from. She was a middle-aged woman. Her hair was kind of frosted, and I would just talk to her and kind of discuss things with her. And I really
Did you
don't
ever
know.
meet Sybil? Did you know Sybil?
No, but I kind of relate to the personality disorder, although I think hers was actually just genetic, and mine was like induced by probably an older person.
Sybil to you must have been like a Disney film.
This could be the day that Jimmy admits a lot of things on the show.
No, I don't have anything bad to admit. It was just these odd little things that would go through my head when I was a youngster, and a lot of them revolved around, whether it was Helen or Kiss.
But it got you here, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
although I don't know where here is. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm happy to be
somehow.
walking through,
See, it did, yeah.
You know, actually, I used to drive a cab, and I would pick people up around here.
Are you shitting me?
No, I was a yellow cab driver.
Jesus. Come on. So you don't have the inbred hatred for them that most people do. You can have empathy.
No, I can understand it. The trouble with cab drivers is because you're in a cab and you're looking through a window. You think it's a video game, so you don't realize that you can get killed and go right through the video game.
Yeah. I hate the cabbie
I'm
stuff.
very powerful driving a cab. I was a cab driver.
Is there any part about being? I mean, obviously wherever you go, I mean, people know where you are, which is who you are. It's got to be an advantage at times. What's the worst part about being, famous like Paul Stanley?
There's nothing bad about it. It's like winning the lottery and complaining about taxes. You know, my life's awesome.
You didn't get mad at all those girls who only wanted to blow you because of your name?
No. I thanked them. It made it much easier.
Dude, that's my inspiration for even being. And I like the fact that you and Gene were honest about that in Kiss Exposed. It's about girls.
Yeah. What difference does it make why somebody wants to be with you as long as everybody walks away smiling?
So you have. I know that you had a son recently.
I had a 7-week-old son now,
and
I've got a 12-year-old son, and I've got a outrageously beautiful and great wife.
Are they musical at all, your kids? Or your oldest one?
Yeah, my son plays, he plays Jimmy Page stuff, and he plays, he's a great guitar player. He plays better than I ever did at his age. And my son wails just like I do.
Was there anybody you played with like that you looked at and went, wow, I can't believe I'm actually performing with this person or playing with this person, like as your career, like from the 71 Wicked Lester days on?
I haven't really played with that many people outside of the band. I mean, it was cool having Joe Perry get up with us and do Strutter, and that was a lot of fun. But for the most part, it's really just been Kiss and not much else.
Who lasted the least amount of time having you guys open for them in the old days? Because nobody wanted to go on after you guys.
Usually what would happen in the early days is we get thrown off the bill.
Right.
So Black Oak, Arkansas, which was like a big band at one point, we lasted one show, and I think we set their curtains on fire, and we were asked not to come back. And then not too long after that, our agent and our record company president said to us, what you need to do is you have to suck. You have to play less and play worse because you can't get any gigs.
Because of the volume of this. And did they ever ask you to take the stage show down or not do what you were doing?
Absolutely. And we said, get stuffed. You either take us the way we are or we don't want to play.
We interviewed Joe Perry, and that's when I saw you guys recently at the Garden a couple years ago, and I got that photo. Why would Aerosmith voluntarily go on after you guys?
Well, because, I love those guys, but they insisted that they close the show, and for me it was like, well, you got to go on before or after us, so you pick. We're splitting everything, and if you want to go on last, God bless you.
Wasn't there something where you couldn't go out as far into the audience? They had like little restrictions on you guys, like what you could and couldn't do?
Well, Steven had a ramp that he wanted just for him. But, you know, none of that stuff matters.
Right.
You can't stop us, you know? I'll knock you out with one hand tied behind my back.
Well, I watched the show. I watched a little of Aerosmith, and granted, I'm very biased, but it was like, what the fuck were they thinking to want to follow this show? It's just ridiculous. It's like going on after fucking, you know, just, why would you?
You know, never pray for things or wish for things because you might get them.
And I have to ask this stupid...
And I love those guys.
What is there any bad blood between Peter? We didn't talk about Peter at all. I mean, we just mentioned Ace. Is there any possibility of him coming back, or is there bad blood there?
I think Peter is probably happy doing what he's doing, and I really, truly wish him the best because I wouldn't be here without him, but doesn't mean I want to be with him today.
All right, so you guys sometimes will develop personality things that you look at and you go, this is probably not going to get fixed.
This is just not workable, so why don't we just both look back on the memories and have a great time and, you know, not spoil it by, you know, slugging each other today.
How cool is it to want to do something and like years ago you'd bounce off Gene or Peter or Ace, and now you can just go, if someone disagrees with you, can just go fuck off, get out of the band if you don't like it.
That's pretty cool, you know. I mean, democracy only goes so far because what it winds up having is a bunch of stalemates, and sometimes you wind up, the person who vetoes something gets his way. So, you know, at this point it's like everybody's in the same car, but somebody's got to drive.
So the CD is Live to Win, and the Kissology comes out. Is that out today?
Kissology is out in the next day. I think it's out today or tomorrow. So that's 6 hours, and it's all vintage concert footage and us rehearsing without makeup and us playing clubs, and it's just the first volume, and it's 6 hours of awesome stuff from our archives.
And what time are you and Gene doing a signing? Because there's gonna be a fucking a madhouse
That's
line.
a good question. I have no idea, but
what signing is what time?
Around 11.
11 tonight?
No.
It's, 11 tomorrow night, and it's where?
At the Virgin
on Times Square. All right, so there's going to be a fucking long line for that. I'd probably, if we didn't have this stupid thing to do, I'd probably just leave there and go there myself.
Stupid thing to do.
I want to bail out on our own fucking gig so I can go just hang with Gene and Paul and really make them uncomfortable and annoy them as they're like, all right, you were fine on the radio, now walk off, you're lurking.
My idea of a mancation is going to Virgin Megastore with Gene. That's the extent of my mancation.
As close as you want to get.
Or mingle with our listeners, because we have 2 pairs of tits at every event.
And are they yours?
Yeah, one are mine, and one is some retarded girl they just truck in.
Now that you bashed him, now he needs a hug.
Yeah, Jimmy needs a hug. Well, this is a fine day for me to get to fucking hang with my first idol.
Hug!
Yes.
Hug! I can't hug Paul.
Here we
hug!
Give him a hug.
This is the picture.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's the picture.
Yeah. There it is.
The great Paul Stanley. Nice round of applause for Paul Stanley. And is he going to give out some CDs, man? I thought you gave them out already.
No, we
and
got some
Live to Win
autographed CDs from Paul Stanley.
Autographed CDs. And don't sell them either, you eBay fucks. Enjoy them.
You're dead.
That's all right.
Wow. I've never seen Jimmy more excited in my life.
It was, you know something?
That's all right.
For years, I have missed seeing children at Christmas. You know, I don't live that life. I don't have kids.
Yeah.
That was as close as I'm going to get to seeing one of my children on Christmas morning.
Well, dude,
Jimmy
how great
talking
is this?
with Paul. You are amazing, Jimmy. You're so excited.
My first idol.
He's out of his mind.
That's his best present ever.
I must say, the biggest crowd we've had on the walkover.
Yeah, this is the biggest crowd we've had so far.
By far. We got probably 100 people out
People
here.
brought all kinds of memorabilia and stuff to have him sign.
Yeah.
They ambushed him the
we got a
second he
cop
walked
there,
out the
limo
revolving
and
doors.
everything. Yeah. All right.
To sign
Thanks,
stuff.
Paul.
And did you also notice
Thanks,
that
man.
like the older broads walking down the street and the younger chicks, they knew who Paul was.
Everybody
Like
knows Paul.
I saw an old broad walk by and go,
Take care, man.
"Isn't that the guy from Kiss?"
Thanks, man.
And then there's the young girls, and they're, you know, oh, it's Paul
Stanley. Clap for Paul Stanley.
Oh, is he just in love? That little
Where
fucker
is
is in
stupid
love.
Steve going with my idol?
Jimmy, follow him.
I don't want to. My Michael cut out.
Follow him, Jimmy.
Oh, he's going into the limousine. All right, I think Kenny's there to protect him from me. Oh, that was fucking great.
The other thing, too, really fast, like, people don't notice anything on the streets of New York. They notice today.
They recognize him.
Paul
It's bigger than
Stanley
life,
today.
you know?
Yeah.
He walks down the sidewalk, everybody everyone knows who he is.
Yeah. Well, he's got a rock star vibe about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's
So you
got
got to
that
look.
air.
That's what it is. He's got a vibe. So you look to see who is that, and then you know who it is.
Right.
It's not like you got to go, who the fuck is that? I was saying, I saw old ladies going like, is that the guy from Kiss? Like they know, they grew up with him.
Well, because after the makeup that came off, there was Lick It Up, there was like all Heaven's on Fire, there was some like massive hits from these guys. So it's like the face in all the videos is
Jimmy,
recognizable.
you did a great job.
Oh my God, are you just
You
the
had
best.
no idea that you were walking with 100 people. It was just you and Paul.
You and
forgot
Paul
about
walking
Aunt
down the
Nye,
sidewalk
you forgot about
alone.
the radio show.
Just alone with each other. You're talking to him. He's talking to you.
He was very cool, man. It was
Totally.
I heard he was like really like shy when you meet him, like a
And not
quiet
at all.
dude, but no, he was fun, man.
And you were hilarious. Like, we got this. I got this stupid thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's called my lively.
No, I was actually thinking of my fucking. When I said that, I was actually thinking of the Letterman audition test.
Oh, shit,
I
that's
swear
real
to God,
stupid.
I was thinking because I have to go out and do like a couple of warm-up sets just to fucking get the timing down, and that's what I was thinking of. Is I'd love to blow that shit off and fucking
Hang out with Gene and Paul.
Stanley today. You got Letterman on Wednesday.
We had Sharon on Thursday. It's
Yeah.
fucking, I know what a 7-day hunk this is.
It's been a great run
Peter
for Jim
Criss
Norton.
fucking yesterday, thanks to Big Kev, I got a picture with
Yeah?
Peter Criss. Yeah, it was fucking.
Hey, what's the
great few
deal?
days.
That he didn't like that question, really, which is fine.
Well, he didn't.
What's the problem with
I don't know.
Kiss and Peter Criss?
I don't know. 'Cause I've heard that him and Paul have a thing like, which I forgot to ask on the air. I would have asked over there.
Yeah.
Where they're like, where they're just not really
I'm
talking.
sure a
What
listener
is
will
it,
know.
though?
I don't know. Maybe a listener might know. Kev, do you know?
I think it's money.
Money.
Give me money.
Because after, it seems like he has a good relationship with Ace, but it seems like after years ago, like Gene and Paul, I mean, they kept Kiss alive. I mean,
Yeah.
Peter and Ace were gone.
They're the two guys.
And it seemed like they were hired, I heard, as musicians on the road as opposed to sharing 4 ways.
Kiss could go on without those. Kiss can't go on without those two.
Gene and Paul, right, but
No.
it did go on without the other two.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think, what was it, Singer? It was it Eric Carr, I'm sorry, he died, right? It was Eric Carr.
Stephen Carr.
Hey, Stephen Carr. Eric Carr was a drummer, I think, longer than Peter was. But I mean, people
Wow,
just remember
really?
Peter as the original drummer.
Dude, you're on, like,
Oh, I know.
cloud 9, as they say.
Yeah, it was
You know,
cool.
I was
People are
saying,
saying Jim Norton's on cloud 9.
at least mine was a girl. When the guest came in, and I was gushing and everything, it was a girl.
I wasn't gushing. Was I
You
gushing?
were gushing.
Was I gushing?
Don't. If we did the same exact thing that you guys did to me with the sound clips and everything else, you would sit there with douche chills, going, "Oh my God, listen how I'm talking."
All we have to do is replay the walkover.
Yeah.
You were just
because you're all just and you're talking too fast and you're so adorable.
You basically admitted to childhood rape because you're a hero.
Yeah, it really was.
Stuff that we've been trying to get out of you for 6 years. Oh, yeah.
Helen.
And it was an uncle, and it was Thanksgiving morning, and blah, blah, blah.
That was
Helen and Jimmy Robinson.
Yeah, I know, and Helen.
and then out of that, he just goes right into one of their albums and how much he loves this and that.
Right.
You're a freak. Love it.
great.
I'm a horse's ass. I hope you got video of the hug.
Oh yeah.
Of course we
Yeah.
did. That'll be on YouTube. That's a great one for YouTube.
Big hug.
Paul hugs creep.
You know it's hysterical. Jimmy put a lot into that hug, like he was selling it.
course. Yeah.
But he loved doing it. And Paul, thank God Paul's facing the camera. He's kind of like, what is this?
What is this radio show?
Why is this man hugging me?
It was great.
Yeah, man, he was very good.
Want to thank everyone for doing the walkover
Yes,
today.
thank you.
A lot of people, of
Very
course,
cool.
for Paul Stanley mostly.
Very cool.
Some of these
Yeah.
people trying to get the Halloween tickets for tomorrow night.
Nice.
We're doing that at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Maybe a lucky
Kenny,
few will make their way up.
The album guy can come up.
Yeah, Anthony, we should remind people tomorrow's the last day to get tickets for the Halloween party. We're going to give away a bunch during the walkover, so we should have another big crowd tomorrow. All right.
What a fantastic day we had.
Yeah.
Fucking talking to Paul Stanley.
Why don't you
It
say
was
hi?
just-
Why don't
All
you
right.
use some of your goodwill?
How are you?
Oh,
Thank you, sir.
wow. He is in the
He was
best
just
of
so
moods.
pleasant, and he was fun to hang with, and he was chatty.
He was.
You know, Paul Stanley.
He's just telling people. He's just telling people now. All right, we'll see you upstairs. Boy, that elevator's full.
Opie and Anthony, XM 202.
Ace Frehley is not here.
What is the
Even though
scoop?
Roland goes, he's
Sam,
5 minutes out.
5 minutes out. We heard that about 10 minutes ago.
The publicist has checked in. Ace has yet.
Well, what about him?
Ace has yet to check in downstairs.
I'm sitting here telling old road stories.
No, I like it.
Then I went to Mile High Stadium,
I
and
like
that
it.
was.
I like it.
I'm sure he'll be here.
Oh,
Why did
boy.
Roland say he's 5? Maybe that's what the publicist told him.
I'm sure.
What happens?
But he said that
Let's
last
just
time.
say, what happens if Ace doesn't show up today?
Then he doesn't come.
Oh boy.
I like Ace. I would love him to. I actually love Ace. But
Yeah.
if he doesn't come, he doesn't come.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
I
I'll still
just
finish
didn't
the
want
book.
to. I just didn't want to.
What if he shows up at 10:01?
What if,
I was on the boneyard.
What if Ace said, Jimmy, meet me in Europe, and you went to Europe and you didn't show up, and he left you there? Would you still listen to Kiss music?
On the flight home, laughing to myself at the good-natured joke he played on me.
See the ribbing.
That Ace got me good.
What happened?
What wrong? He's 5 minutes away?
Where is he right now? I want to know.
5 minutes means 10 minutes. You know that. At least 10, maybe 15.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
As soon as he comes on.
Oh, Christ.
All right,
What happened? What happened?
He's a rock star, man. He's on his time. It's all good.
Oh, come on, man. You can't expect rock
Back to
stars
Brunel.
to always show up.
Holy shit. Here's Ace Frehley.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, see, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I'm
Here's
looking at
Ace.
Scarlett Johansson's fucking ass.
Oh, my God. Where is that picture? Yeah, I saw it really quick the other day.
Can I see that, too?
Can I see it? I want to see it.
Fuck.
I'm in third grade.
Ace! What's up, Ace?
What's going on?
Are we live?
Ace.
Yeah, we're
really,
on.
of course.
Huh? That's the Angry
That's
Baby
Angry
in
Baby.
Oslo.
You ever been to Oslo? Yeah.
Absolutely. He's probably sold it out 9
years.
million times.
We're doing Anomaly?
Yeah, yeah.
Anomaly? All right.
Now promoting the book.
It's been a couple years, right?
Yeah. Things haven't changed much.
No. Believe me. Same shit.
Yeah.
For Jimmy's birthday, we had you in.
Oh, that's right.
To surprise Jimmy.
Yeah, you brought me a cake with, it was a girl's ass with a log of shit coming out of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was slightly obscene.
Yeah, it was
Are we
great.
there right now?
We are,
Yeah, that's how we
are.
That's how we roll. We got to get that montage together of people that
absolutely
just
have to.
every guest that has said
We
that
don't know
to
if
us.
that's good or bad when
Hey,
guests
we're-
ask that.
Is this live right now?
Yeah.
Are we on the air?
Do you guys consider this entertaining?
It's basically what they're saying.
Real professional.
Me? Yeah.
Do you have, what kind of information do you have there?
Oh, well, right now on Amazon, the book, it's #1 in biographies for composers and musicians. It's already #1 in entertainment music, and it's #4 in books, biographies, and entertainers. And it's in the top 100, and it just came out yesterday.
Tuesday,
There you
yeah.
go.
It's
Go
great.
figure.
I'm almost finished with it. I'm probably got like 20 pages left. It's fucking, you did a great job, man.
Thanks.
It's, this is something I wanted to ask you. The opening line of the book, you write, when I was a kid, I used to carry this awful image around in my head, a picture of 3 men tangled awkwardly in high-tension wire, 50 feet in the air, their lifeless bodies crisping in the midday sun. Why?
Well, you know, my dad helped build the installation, the electrical installation for West Point. And, oh, you didn't read the book then?
No, I don't, no. I got to the opening line and I just got bored and I closed it. No, that wasn't, I just, you know, I don't want to just say it because then if I just say it.
Yeah, my dad was working with other guys installing the new electrical installation at West Point. He drew a short straw to go get the sandwiches. He came back and his buddies, you know, got electrocuted because somebody inadvertently had flipped the switch.
So basically, if he had not drawn the short
crispy
straw.
critters, you know?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So if he hadn't done that, literally he might have been up there and you would have been no you.
If he wouldn't have drawn the short straw, I would have been a bright idea, I guess, only.
Wow.
Are you doing book signings or no?
Yeah, I'm doing one at Barnes & Noble here in town tomorrow.
What did you...
He's
just like,
whatever. On the book signing at noon.
What is your relationship now with like Gene and Paul? Because I think you were pretty fair in the book. Like you slam a little bit, but not. It doesn't seem bitter. It seems like it's a pretty honest assessment of what happened.
Well, you know, there's good and bad in every relationship, just like a marriage. So, you know, I mean, I had lunch with Gene about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Did you pay?
Hotel. We just hung out and reminisced. Did you see what he said about me? On page 6 the other day.
I heard
New York
audio.
Post.
Is that the audio where he said that you were saluting him like Hitler? I just heard that. I don't know if that's old audio or is that new?
No, I was on page 6 the other day in the New York Post, and whoever wrote the article was quoting parts of the book where I'm talking about Gene and giving everybody crabs, this, that, and the other thing, and then they got a statement from Gene. Nobody has it there.
Where is that?
We're not a prepared radio show.
He said something to the effect.
Sam will find it. Brilliant.
Ace has been an alcoholic and a drug addict for 35 years, but we love him, you know.
You didn't say there's decades of your life that you don't remember or something?
Yeah, probably. That's why I needed help on the book. But, the 35 years is incorrect. It's incorrect. It's a false statement. I've been an alcoholic for at least 40 years. And, proud of it. But recovering at this juncture,
So you are
5 years
sober?
plus.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I celebrated 5 years on September 15th.
Oh, that's great. Any urges at all? Any urges at all? Because I'm sober.
Urges?
Occasionally I get
the first
them.
couple of years are the hardest, and then subsequently every year after that gets easier and easier. Now, people drink in front of me doesn't even bother me.
Do you have any vices?
Any vices?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up, most of my life was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So you take away the drugs, you still have rock and roll and sex.
Yeah,
2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? Like Meatloaf said.
There's quite a few fucking near misses in this book too.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
electrocutions, human sacrifices.
No, with drugs. Like there's a couple of times where you, the one I just read was really interesting. You were flying into a foreign country and you had an 8-ball in your sneaker.
No.
And it seems like you got these really weird premonitions at times where shit was about to go really bad for you.
No.
And what happened on the plane? That you just felt something might be wrong when you landed?
I just had a premonition, man. I was going to get popped, if I landed with that stuff on my body. So I went into the laboratory and flushed it down the toilet, which became a little bit of a problem.
needed that, Ace.
Oh, yeah, good fellas.
Man.
Karen.
I'm struggling with my addiction, and should I do it? Should I not do it? What's worse, going to jail or getting high for a weekend?
Right.
But,
You didn't do a little bit of it and then flush the rest of it?
No. I was already so wired just from the dream and the premonition. I had like a nightmare on the plane. I was just happy to get rid of it and get back to my seat before.
Oh, is that what sparked it?
The plane was about to land.
That's got to be the most paranoid feeling you could have, to be flying on a plane to another country, high out of your mind, with drugs on you.
Yeah.
How do you hold that together?
More importantly, did they check you when you got off the plane?
Well, when I got off the plane, one of those drug-sniffing dogs actually...
So the
I caught his
premonition was
attention,
true.
And they examined my shoes and everything. And then I started panicking. Man, was there a second one in there somewhere hidden that I had forgotten about? But
Wow. Sure, muled it up your ass.
yeah, I never went that far.
That's how I smuggle fruits and stuff into.
Exactly.
Yeah, at some point, you got to be like, all right, you got me.
Yeah. You can't bring fruits and vegetables across international waters.
I'm thinking something else.
But I can.
I thought it was double entendre stuff.
Did it, when you talk a lot about the drug use too, and when you were in KISS, like how people would have thought that Gene and Paul were drinkers back in those days. You would have had no idea that there was such a difference between you and Peter and Gene and Paul. How far into KISS did that start to become like an issue or talked about or some sort of a point of strain?
Me and Peter both started spinning out of control. Once we all became millionaires, too much too soon. Like so many other rock stars, in history. But, I'm just lucky that, every day above ground, I'm happy for, because by all rights, I shouldn't even be here.
What's the craziest thing you went out and bought when you were at the height? You had all that money.
The craziest thing
that you look back now and go, "What the fuck? Really? Why did I do that?"
I was buying. You know what I used to do? When I was a kid growing up in the Bronx. I never, my parents were like middle class, but we couldn't afford, expensive toys and gadgets. So I would always go to hobby shops and buy the most expensive radio-controlled helicopter, the most expensive radio-controlled boat,
I hear you.
and airplanes, and also, spend thousands
Put 8 balls in them,
on
and
that stuff.
pretend you're flying into another country.
And most of them are just sitting in my storeroom,
So just weird, like, shit that you would have wanted as a child, you bought as an adult.
Stuff I never could have, that I wanted, Hey, now I can get it, and, of course, a lot of sports cars. And, some clothes and...
Did you trash a few cars due to maybe
several,
drinking? And
God, my DeLorean, I cracked up a 928 Porsche.
Did the DeLorean come with cocaine with it?
That was such a cool car. I remember I used to go pick up my daughter at preschool, and all the kids would come running out to meet the car. The spaceship is here,
Spaceship.
Yeah, 'cause, the gull-wing doors and,
Maybe it was because of the driver.
And the funny thing about that car, that's the only car you don't wax with, like, car wax. You use
stainless
steel
steel.
wool polish.
Yeah, it's like
stainless steel polish. It was nuts.
So I was also enjoying reading the Phantom of the Park story, and how much that you thought it
my
was like a goof, and how Gene was like genuinely embarrassed by that because he thought it was gonna be like a legit horror film.
Really?
The whole movie to me was kind of a goof, but the whole Kiss phenomena was a goof. I never took it that seriously. You know, Gene always took everything so goddamn seriously because he wasn't loaded. And, you know, he was always thinking about money and this and that, and what else can we merchandise, and that completely went off the charts, and it completely went out of control. You see, once Kiss got really big, Gene started, in conjunction with our management, over merchandising the band to the point where little kids were showing up at the show, and I talk about it in the book.
Yeah.
And, all of a sudden, my road manager's going, hey, it's cool with the F words tonight because there's a lot of little kids in the front row, that's not what rock and roll's all about.
Yeah, and you felt, I know you talked a lot about how you felt the merchandising went way too far. What was the first thing you saw that you were like, because like T-shirts, there was some publicity stunts where the mayor would wear makeup, like that stuff was made sense. But what was the first thing you saw that you were like, ugh, what the fuck?
Well, the dolls were kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
action figures.
The commercials showed them little kids with them. And, the lunch boxes, but who walks around with a lunch box except the little kid?
I did.
I mean, I've seen a lot of grown men running around with kids' lunch boxes. but it just got completely out of control. And
it annoyed you?
Anything that's been produced, merchandise-wise, there's usually a Kiss stamp on it. I mean, it's crazy.
Do you think that, because you stress in the book a lot about how you felt that the music really took a backseat always to the money and to the merchandising and to the show. And how long into it did that start to bother you, like, I think the music is suffering?
I can't tell you how many times the following day after a concert, I'd look up a review in the local paper and would talk about the show more than the music. The music did take a second,
Just
it was
the
second
stage?
in a lot of people's minds because the show was so elaborate, but for me, I love the show and I love coming up with, I'm the wizard when it comes to guitar effects, the smoking guitar, the rocking guitar, the light guitar, you name it, I've done it. But it should never, come before the music. To me, the music was always the most important.
And the fact that it was choreographed, I was surprised, too, that you, it bored you. You said after a while because of all the fire and the flash pots and all that, you couldn't move around on the stage.
Look, I just did 2 nights at B.B. King's, and we switched a few things around. Couldn't do that in a Kiss show. Everything had to go, because everybody, the pyro guy's got a board and he's got the song list. And if we do a different song and he presses the button, somebody's going to get blown up. So it was that crazy. It was like a Broadway show.
That's fucking
Broadway
scary. You
rock
had to
show.
count on that guy. To
we brought in our own elaborate staging. We brought in our own lights. We brought in our own pyrotechnics. And, we had seven tractor trailers at one point.
Wow. Wait, that happened to Hetfield at one time when he was playing guitar and that whole thing came up, burned up his hand.
I got electrocuted on stage in 1976 in Lakeland, Florida. I was just talking to the interviewer I was with last night over at VH1, and he said there is some type of video footage of me getting electrocuted, but they're still trying to get a hold of it.
How did you get
what's
electrocuted?
the story?
Yeah.
Well, it was before wireless transmitters. So I don't know if you remember the set we used to have where it was like 5 marshals, 25 feet high, and we'd come down a staircase. Well, here I am in platform shoes, so I always have to hold on to the railing. I grabbed the railing, and I wasn't grounded properly, and I got zapped with 220 volts.
Holy shit!
Now, the only thing that saved my life was I got thrown back onto the platform. If I would have gone forward, I would have probably smashed, cracked my head open.
How long before people didn't realize that wasn't part of the show? You know what I mean? Because you guys got so many things, when you get zapped.
It took a while for the guys in the band to realize I wasn't even there, because everybody's doing their own thing, Gene's preoccupied with sticking his tongue out at the girl in the front row, and Paul's dancing around, and flipping it, And finally they go, they look around and go, where's Ace, and so they had to stop the show, and then I I had burns on my fingers. You know, I was actually knocked out for several seconds.
I was going to say, yeah. Were you? How soon did you come to?
I think I was. I took about a 5-minute break, and then, you know, my manager Bill O'Connor was there. And he says, "Ace, you got to get back out there." And all of a sudden, the fans and the whole venue started chanting, "We want Ace, we want Ace." So my adrenaline started pumping. Brought me back to life, and
so you just shook off being electrocuted. That's unbelievable.
I mean, I fell the other night at BB King's, you know, because there was no luminous tape on the edge of the stage. I'm doing my spoken guitar solo.
Shit!
You know, I'm going like this. And I'm walking to the right.
Fell off
my right foot goes into the hole where the monitor board is, and I thought I broke my leg. Then I looked at my guitar after the show. I had snapped off the Tune-O-Matic bridge, and what had happened. The guitar took the brunt of the fall.
Jesus.
If the guitar wouldn't have done it, I would have broke my leg, and I don't know what.
Did you keep playing, or did you stop the solo?
No, I jumped back up and switched guitars and finished the solo.
Is that embarrassing when that happens? I've never fallen on stage.
Well, I've fallen a lot with Kiss, but it was like on the stage, not off. I've never fallen off the stage. That was the first time. It was a little scary.
Why would you fall on the stage? Were you ever under the influence?
I used to fall all the time with those boots.
Fall
off his shoes. I could have. You know, Paul and Gene are pretty good with those. I was never good with them.
What's the most you fell in one show? And did you start getting mad? These motherfuckers with these
I've
boots.
fallen more than twice in one show, but that's enough.
Yeah, that would be. Did it cause resentment with the other members who came up with the idea for the boots?
They got used to it. In fact, if I would fall, they would try to make it look like it was part of the show, and they'd like come over to me and play to me until I, managed to get back up.
Oh, man. Yeah, got to keep the rock and roll going.
In those days, we all covered each other, It's not like every man for himself, towards the end.
What's the craziest thing you ever saw looking out into the crowd? All your Maniac fans that even you for half a second had to step back like, am I really looking at that shit?
It was a lot of crazy shit, I mean, I remember the last reunion tour, some Oriental broad was following us around, she'd pull off her panties and write on them, "Fuck me, Ace," and hold them up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really yeah. Did you fuck her?
Yeah, did you make her dreams come true?
No.
Was she attractive?
She wasn't bad looking.
If she was hotter, would you have fucked her?
Huh?
Would you have fucked her if she was more attractive?
Nah, I'm kind of past that these days.
Oh, was that recently that happened?
That was in the Kiss reunion tour, probably around 2000.
How long did it take you to get that out of your system, where somebody held up panties and said, "Fuck me, Ace," that you didn't give in to that temptation? How many decades?
A lot of the insanity with women kind of went along with the drinking and the drugging, and once I got away from that, I got away from the
groupie thing,
the insane behavior. But yeah, I also vividly remember, in the 70s we used to get shots of penicillin like once a month, because the worst thing you could get was like syphilis or something, or gonorrhea, But I mean, I remember when the AIDS scare came in, and we all kind of were a lot more cautious, except for Gene.
Oh yeah, he just kept fucking.
Oh well, Gene, anything, Gene has two prerequisites for a woman: alive and breathing. This is like. So.
What was the crab story? Because you guys all got crabs. Because I've had them 3 times. I got them twice from the same girl, and then once I think a girlfriend cheated and gave them to me. They're fucking horrible.
Well, in the old days, Sean Delaney used to pack our leather jumpsuits in one trunk, throw it in the truck, and move on to the next show.
Oh God!
Gene was infested with them, and the little buggers jumped from one costume to the other. Next thing you know, all 4 of us are scratching. And everybody goes, "Gene," but. We kind of laughed it off in those days.
You ever have them on stage?
Did you guys have the shaved pube show after that?
I'm trying to remember the name of that stuff we had to apply.
Rid was what I used.
Yeah.
R-I-D, yeah.
Oh, God, it was that little comb?
Yeah, it was terrible. I have straight pubes, like a Chinese person's hair. I have awful pubes. So I finally shaved them completely now, but it was fucking terrible. It's a violating feeling when I had an itch, and then you look down and you pull this black thing out. And you see leg. It's fucking terrible.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
And then you gotta boil all your sheets, and it's crazy.
How many times did you have them? Would you have more than once?
I may have had them twice in my life, but Gene was pretty much infested for several years during that period. On and off. I love it. He had infestation.
He should have been condemned
by the Board of Health. They should have put a sign on a quarantine on his door.
Are you happy he's married?
Am I happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I had lunch with him, I was saying, Gene's going, Ace, you know, I'm going to tie the knot. I said, it's about time, Gene. And, you know, I mean, Shan's a great lady. And, you know, she stayed with him all these years and gave him 2 beautiful children, you know. I think he did the right thing.
When you left, it was you just really wanted out. I was surprised to read that. I thought for some reason I thought they asked you to leave. I didn't realize that Peter had already left, and you they almost begged you to stay in the band, and you just didn't want to anymore.
They both asked me to stay, you know. But, you know, between all the drugs I was doing, I was living in isolation in this big mansion in Connecticut with a recording studio. And, you know, in my mind, you know, if I didn't get away from the band, I was going to die. And, you know, it was a tape that kept playing over and over in my head. You know, I'm sitting in my lawyer's office, and I'm going, I got to leave the band. I'm going to die. I'm going to kill myself. And he's going, yeah, but it's $15 million, Ace, you know. Buys a lot of therapy. I said, therapy doesn't work when you're 6 feet under, you know. I don't want a dirt nap, you know.
And so you guys had made a lot of money, but then you had this other contract where it was going to be $15 million apiece, and you knowingly just said, I can't do it.
It's a $15 million record contract for the 4 of us. And I ended up walking out, and it was actually cut in half because of me. I don't think they ever forgave me for that.
Oh, they lost $7.5 million?
Oh, I bet Gene wasn't
in the 70s, you know how much money that is?
Fuck yeah. That's a lot of money.
Sorry, guys.
Why did Peter leave?
Peter was fired.
Yeah. What was
Peter?
ultimately?
You know, Peter ran into the same problems I did eventually. You know, with abuse, and he had a car accident, and you know, it affected his playing. And,
were you there when he got fired? Did you guys all sit down, or was it a?
Well, I actually didn't want Peter fired. You know, I figured, you know, let's put him in the hospital and get him cleaned up and give him another chance. But Paul and Gene were pretty adamant that, you know, they didn't want to give him another chance and they just wanted to move on. So I was pretty much outvoted, so I had to go along with it.
How's he doing now?
Peter's doing okay. You know, I spoke to him not that long ago. I saw him at Bill O'Coin's funeral down in Florida. And he's hanging in there. I heard he's working on a book also.
Is he still partying?
Is he still performing?
Partying. Is he still partying, or is he?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Got shit together. Good.
Yeah, I always found it interesting because it's like you guys put out so much material in the first few years of your existence. Most bands put out an album and a couple years later, and you pumped out, what was it, 3? How many albums in the first 18 months? Up to
4
Alive?
albums.
Wow.
4 albums.
That
3
does
studio.
not happen anymore.
Yeah,
No.
I'm sitting with my ghostwriter, and he's giving me these statistics because he did his homework. You know, I mean, there's so many people know more about Kiss than I do because, you know, I lived there, but I forget the numbers and the dates. He says, man, you did 4 albums in 18 months, and between those albums, you're touring extensively. He goes, that must have been insane. It was. It was just like this roller coaster ride that never ended.
Well, your first 3 records, too, they weren't selling. I mean, they were okay, but you said Casablanca almost went broke because you guys just weren't selling records until Alive.
Yeah. We came out with Kiss, then we came out with Hotter Than Hell, and then we came out with Dress to Kill. And after Dress to Kill, you know, things were shaky. You know, I know Bill O'Coin had extended himself, and Neil Bogart had, you know, put a lot of their own personal money into the band. And if Alive wouldn't have taken off like it did and become, you know, a huge record, you know, who knows what would have happened.
Why do you think bands take so long today to, like, you know, we had Tony Iommi recently, and he talked about Black Sabbath, the record. That took, like, I think 2 days in the studio or 1 day. And I know your first album especially didn't take. Why do bands obsessively take a year now, whereas back then you could do it in a week or 2 months or whatever?
I don't know, you know, it has a lot to do with the producer, you know. Sometimes, you know, in the old days, the band used to get together and just knock it out, you know. Now, you know, you get the producers that bring in there, okay, we'll do your part today, and then tomorrow we have Johnny in the studio, and then we have, you know, Bubby in the studio, you know, because they're making more money, you know. They're getting a piece of the studio, they're charging a larger fee, and, you know, we did it old school back in those days.
Spend 4 days getting a snare drum sound.
Yeah. Man, I remember walking in the studio like 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're still working on drums, Ace. Come back after lunch, you know, they're trying to get the perfect drum sound on it, you know, get every ring out of every
Nothing worse
skin.
than sitting there and just listening to the
Yeah.
nah,
Oh, God, shut up. Nothing worse than a drum check.
Now everything's canned. You can get samples and get perfect drum sound. A lot of people today, when they record an album with drums, they end up replacing the drums with sampled sounds. They just trigger them.
I bet, I'm not sure about this, but I bet in the old days, too, you could just write some songs, throw them on an album, put the album out, and then, you write some more songs, put it on an album. And now it seems to me like the record company probably has some kind of say, like, we need more hits, so we need a little more of this. And they're probably more selective as to what they want you to put out as a band than in the old days.
It depends on the type of group. If you're a single-orientated band, absolutely. If you're...
But how many album-oriented bands are there out there now?
Kiss was always we always made more money at live performances. And we really weren't a single-orientated band until Rock and Roll Night, and Beth and stuff like that started happening.
Yeah, it was all about the live show. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's why Alive, took off like a bat out of hell, because it was the perfect souvenir for a Kiss concert.
Hey, why did you guys decide to take the makeup off the first time? And how scared were you?
Well, I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there?
I quit the group in '82, and then the guys decided to get, what did they get, Vinnie Vincent?
Yeah, Vinnie Vincent.
But for a while, Vinnie had some kind of ankh on his head or something, an Egyptian thing, and then they decided to take it off. And then, they had a...
Did you think looking outside that was a mistake when they were going to take the makeup off, like they were killing
No, well,
a
I
major
took
hook?
my makeup off and started, Frehley's Comet, and that did well. I had a gold album, the first out of the box. But, also, after I had left Kiss, it wasn't with complete creative control and freedom, it wasn't, the ideal situation either, because everything was on me. When I was in Kiss, I could lean on those other guys because they were workaholics. And then I realized, wow, it's up to me. If this record sucks, it's because they're going to say Ace sucks. So, it wasn't the dream that I had imagined while I was still in the band. But,
You're like, I don't got to wear that stupid makeup.
The makeup became a real drag. I mean, imagine having a hangover and then getting a phone call at 8 o'clock in the morning and say, you got to go to a radio station promotion and you got it in full costume,
Yeah, it's not even for a show. It's like,
it was a nightmare.
Did you half-ass it sometimes? Just fucking like, fuck it.
Just one star.
I was coming up with all kind of crazy ideas. I says, can we get stencils or something? Can we just spray the shit on? And, it was just like, God, I got to do this again. I talk about it in the book where I'm doing the film. I'd show up on set while we were doing Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. And, I get into my trailer, get into makeup, and, the director would say, hey, we're going to do close-ups on Gene today. We don't need you till 1 o'clock. And I'd flip out,
Sit there in the fucking makeup.
But then you took off and fucking went to a King Tut exhibit and then came back and apologized.
It was the most bizarre thing. I was like all bent out of shape because it had happened more than once. And I lost my temper with the producer and director. I took off, lost my bodyguards, zigzagging through traffic. And then I just said, I ended up at the La Brea Tar Pits and there's a museum there. And I've always been fascinated with Egyptian culture, the pyramids, the whole 9 yards. And I'm standing outside going, wow, this would have been a great thing to see. And some broad just comes up to me and hands me a ticket. You go, you need a ticket? You look like you need a ticket. I said, yeah. I go, how much? He goes, oh, you can have it. It was insane. Most of my life seems like a dream. It's a fantasy.
I bet.
It's just weird stuff that just... when I read it, I read it cover to cover when I got the final version. And I said, wow, what a great movie.
Yeah. Who would you want to play you?
Play me? I don't know. Probably somebody who looks a little like me.
Yeah, I guess that would help.
We have to find something. We'll have to find. Maybe we can get Scorsese to do it, huh?
The book is called No Regrets too, and it's fantastic. I just wish I had finished it. I'm like 30 pages short. I'm a
What did you think of the pictures?
They were great.
Yeah,
they were really great.
A lot of them nobody's seen.
I like a lot of the young photos. You're a handsome guy, and I like some of the fucking outfits that you had on in the 70s. And two things too. I want to say. You said you and Gene were roommates at one point, and that you think Paul was happy that he was with you, and that you said he was disgusting. You said Gene Simmons in the Hotels was disgusting as a roommate.
Dirty.
Like, why was he dirty? I'm surprised to read that.
Why?
Like what did he do that was dirty?
You gotta ask him. I mean, Shannon's nickname for Gene used to be Stinky.
Would he really spit on the floor, though? You said he was just hawking loogies on the floor.
Yeah. Well, you know why?
on his own floor.
You know why? Because whenever he breathed fire, he'd be drinking kerosene, and a lot of times he would swallow some of it. So he's constantly trying to. After a show, he's coughing it up.
Spitting down on the crabs.
You're in a Holiday Inn. I'm jumping over crabs and
to that to burn the
blobs
crabs.
and this and that, and it was all in good fun.
Where's
Yeah, when he burned his pubes off, is that what he did?
He would just spit the fire on the.
Gene's hair went on fire a couple of times.
Did you laugh or were you worried?
No, I was worried.
Okay.
I was.
Did you
genuinely
laugh
worried.
afterwards, though?
Well, after we knew it was okay, we thought it was hysterical.
Of course.
Sean Delaney attacks him with a towel, and ends up rubbing off half his makeup.
Who was Sean Delaney?
Sean Delaney was our tour manager in the early days. And he was responsible for a lot of the choreography in the beginning. He worked with us, with our moves, the classic Kiss moves that you see. A lot of them were Sean Delaney's ideas.
Okay, you wouldn't have thought to do that. He said, why don't you guys walk up at the end of the song and all do this or do that?
What's the
Sean was very instrumental with that.
What's the best band that ever opened up for you? Were you actually standing, even at the height of yours, going, "Oh my God"?
The best band, I don't know. We've had some. We've had Rush open for us. We've had
back in the day they were like unknown.
Bob Seger. Well, they were known, but it seemed like every group who opened for a Kiss tour, after that tour, they ended up headlining because they had gotten so much, exposure. Because all we were playing was arenas. Yeah, I remember after the tour, Bob Seger gave me, a gold record, and a thank you.
Oh, for giving him the shot.
You open up, look how many people you're exposed to. In those days, it was, it wasn't MTV, it wasn't the internet. So, playing before a live audience was one of the best ways to get known.
Do you have information on your signings, too? Because I want to plug the signings before we wrap, because...
on my signings?
Yeah, do you have any...
Where's my assistant?
Do you have info on the signings?
Yep. Yeah, 12 this composer.
Noon at Barnes & Noble on Thursday.
Noon on Thursday, Barnes & Noble, which one?
Fifth Avenue.
Fifth Avenue, which is, I think, in Union Square. I believe that's the Union Square Barnes & Noble, or no?
I'm not sure.
That's the one here.
Where here?
Like on,
You're not sure?
48.
On 48th Street?
44th, I'm hearing.
44th? Is there a website that they can go to?
Yeah, go to acefrehley.com.
acefrehley.com, and it's Frehley. I fucking have not been able to spell your name for 30 years.
German. Frehley.
I always spell it wrong.
A lot of people
Everyone
pronounce
says it
Frehley,
wrong.
but it's
Yeah.
Frehley.
I would have
Ace
said...
Frehley freely admits that Frehley is the proper
Oh,
pronunciation.
it is Frehley?
Frehley, yeah.
That's so odd because no one is going to say Frehley.
No one has ever
Everyone
said
says
Frehley.
Frehley.
Listen to the live record. Paul
Yeah.
Stanley goes, Ace Frehley, lead guitar.
I probably think he's saying it wrong. Like everybody.
did he say it
Why did
right?
he say it like that?
Pretty much.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know that.
Frehley.
Ace Frehley.
Are you going to change your pronunciation, Jim?
No.
I'm just happy you say my name.
Yeah.
You can mispronounce it, It works.
Well, the book is great. Go to acefrehley.com.
What?
See, I just fucking
They
fast.
did.
I just changed.
Nice. That sounded good.
Yeah. And get information on the signings, because I'm sure the signings will be mobbed. And it's genuinely a great book, man. And I learned a lot about... I thought I knew everything about Kiss, because I've been a fan since I was just a boy.
Somebody was saying to me the other night, man, you've been in a lot of fights, they said to me. And I go, hey, I'm from the Bronx, I'm a tourist, Give me a stage where this bull can rage.
If you...
How much... How's that go?
Give me a stage where this bull here can rage. Although I can fight.
Although I can fight, I much rather recite. That's entertainment. What are you going to do?
How great is it? Just doing raging bull lines with Ace. There really is nothing better than that.
Yeah.
We should just hang out and do them all day.
I've
that's just
never
my
hung
fantasy.
out with De Niro. He's one guy I've always wanted to hang out with.
Have you met him?
Maybe. I met so many people in those Studio 54 years. It's just like, a lot of it's a blur. I'm dancing with Lindsay Wagner. I'm hanging out with John Belushi, the Stones, Alice Cooper.
So how many times does that happen to you when somebody just comes up to you like, hey, and you got to be like, hey, I don't remember you.
I have no clue.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Not remembering people's names. I go, how you been, man? Long time no see. What are you up to? I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
But,
So there you go.
Over the years, you get good at that.
All the fans, that's all you got to do. Just walk up to Ace, act like you met him before, actually shoot the shit with him, hang out and talk to you.
Yeah, dude, you invited me to your house. All right, let's go.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I finally got time in my schedule. All right, man.
I said, give me a call.
Yeah.
Give me a call.
Did you really remember my shit cake?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I remember being here and
That'll make Jimmy very
had a
happy.
video camera going and
Yeah.
were you licking it or sitting in it or something? You were doing
I ate
something.
the log.
You were doing something obscene with it, weren't you?
Yeah, there was a little shit log, and I felt obligated to eat it out of respect
You
for
know,
the chef.
all these years later, now it makes sense. Frehley's Comet. See, Frehley's Comet doesn't make sense. Frehley's Comet sounds like Haley's Comet.
Yeah, I guess
you got it.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
I never noticed it.
And you're right.
I
Thinking
I
of the
always
other
thought
day. Go
even
ahead.
Frehley's Comet I thought was a great name
I
for
did
a
too.
band.
Yeah, I know, I did too, but it
Frehley's
didn't make any
Comet works.
sense.
Yeah.
Frehley's
Just like
Comet,
that.
Haley's Comet. You know, then you at the same time you have Frampton's Camel. You got Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. You know, it was the '80s.
Yeah, but we didn't
had
say
comets,
Blakemore.
rainbows, and camels running around.
But, Ace, is that why you came up with the name? Was it like Haley's Comet, Frehley's
Well,
Comet?
you know,
or?
I was a spaceman, and I thought it really fit. You know, I was actually somebody came up, showed me a picture, an actual great photograph of Haley's Comet, and it was the first album cover, if you remember correctly.
Frehley's Comet. Wow.
I never would. Frehley's Comet to me was fine. I never
How
would
many
have connected
years?
it.
And he finally.
I just thought it meant
it's like
Comet.
revelation.
All the pieces in the puzzle finally
Yeah,
fit.
finally.
I thought it was Comet just because he was blazing up and down the fretboard.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What I thought.
Right, right.
No, I knew it was a play on Haley's Comet. But
No,
I
you
just-
didn't.
No,
you
of course
didn't.
I did. I know a lot about space.
He's yelling.
It was supposed to be called Ace's Asteroid, and he said, "Fuck that." Am I correct? No.
You know, I
Thursday at noon. Let me plug your signing. Thursday at noon, Barnes & Noble, 555 Fifth Avenue. And it's called No Regrets. And also Friday at Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey, 6 p.m. Some of you went to see Iommi a couple nights ago. Go Friday for Ace at 6 o'clock. It's an amazing independent bookstore in Ridgewood, New Jersey. And, you get to get the book signed and meet him. And don't expect a long conversation. There's going to be a big fucking line. But definitely go and buy the book and get it signed.
Just act like you've met him before. You'll get a hug.
Yeah. Hey, she said I didn't have to pay for that. All right, take it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, man, very
All
much.
right,
Thank you,
thanks
Ace.
It usually
All right, here we
works.
go.
Here we go.
This is for you, Ace.
Two girls,
Well, they
one
scored
cup.
it? They've scored it since.
See, a little lesbian scene. Nice, right? Jesus Christ.
Where's the toilet paper?
It's unaffected. Unaffected.
Nah.
Crazy things have happened than that on the road.
Ace is just watching. He's like, a little throw up on there.
Throw up on the doo-doo. Nothing?
Nothing affects him.
Look
Now he
at
doesn't
this.
care.
Look at this.
I'll give you some insight into me that I'm actually trying to look over Ace Frehley's shoulder to see two girls shitting in a cup.
He's unaffected.
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 He's watching this like
I
it's a
mean, how
Disney
do you
cartoon.
expect me to react?
People
I mean,
just get are turned off by it. I prefer unaffected. I think unaffected is the way to go.
I don't know if I was turned off by it. Yeah, it's.
God damn.
You know.
There's something about it, right? It's like it's
Well,
gross.
I prefer water sports. You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, who doesn't love a little tinkle?
Not quite as messy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's a lady.
Oh, no.
Wait, is that?
No,
That's his
he's
wife, I
coming.
think.
Oh,
He's here. He is.
there's Peter Criss.
There he
Holy
is.
fuck.
Is that on?
Yeah. Where's the plug?
Ain't no plug.
Yeah, let's get it plugged in.
All right.
Peter Criss.
Peter, take a seat.
Good to see you. Opie, Anthony,
Hi.
Jim Norton, Danny.
Good to see you.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
How you doing?
See
How you
ya.
doing?
We've been reading excerpts from the book all morning, laughing
Oh,
our
my
asses
God.
off.
Well, that's good then.
What? a
I think it's good.
great
That's a good
book.
thing.
Yeah.
What a great book.
Thank
oh my
you. Thank
God.
you.
I mean,
a lot of heart into it.
I could tell a lot of liver, a lot of heart, a lot of everything. Because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of books out there that people like to think, tell all. I hate to be cliche, but wow, you certainly do go all out.
Thank you, thank you. I started it in '87, put it aside, and it's a miracle that we. Should I put these on?
If you want.
guys got me
yeah.
right on.
Yeah.
I love it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
this was a labor of love. Trust me. I started this way back in '87 and put it aside, and I think God had His reasons for this because there would be no reunion in there. I wouldn't be getting back. I wouldn't be about my breast cancer, and I'm 5 years free.
All right.
Which, I just got a huge award for being the first male to really bring it forth
on the table that men get it, and who thinks we think we're going to get heart attacks, prostate cancer. I never thought. I came home from the gym one day and I felt a nodule, and my wife, thank God, saved my life, and one thing led into another, and it was breast cancer, and I removed it, and I'm 5 years breast cancer free, and now I push the word a lot, and I just did a walk Sunday for 20,000 people showed up. Last year it was 17,000, and what was great
was that all the people with the pink on?
No, we had blue this year.
My neighborhood, it was all pink.
Well, pretty much so, but we're changing it to blue, and this was more blue, and the signs actually said men get breast cancer too, so it was pretty cool to see that. It's nice. I have a lot of accolades. It's nice to win gold and platinum records, but to me this is a much bigger thing in my life. It's changed my whole life immensely to tell guys, which we don't think because we're idiots, that we could get anything,
And did you get the wrong diagnosis at first? Didn't they misdiagnose you?
Yes. One doctor did in New Jersey, and then my doctor, Alex Switzerland in Cornell, rechecked it, and sure enough, he gave me one of those calls, these standing, sitting calls. And when you get these calls, they're not good. And I said, well, give me the bad news. He said, you have breast cancer. And I said, you got to be kidding me. And he said, but the good news is you caught it, and I wish some men would do this, come in right away when they find something, because you won't have to get chemo. You won't have to go through all that stuff that terrible stuff people go through. And I think maybe if I went through that, I might not have been so brave as to say, hey, man, I had breast cancer and I beat it. Maybe if I went through all that horror, but I didn't. And I think it was God's way, because I'm a major Catholic kid, that his way is saying go out there and tell men that they could get breast cancer. And none of you guys, I'm sure, would ever want even to go down that road. It's a terrible disease. And I meet women who have had it, and they didn't even educate their own husbands or sons. They're kind of clueless. We're all clueless.
Can I ask you, is it rare?
Yes,
how
it's
rare
1%.
It's how much?
1%.
1%.
But still, it could be your dad, your brother. That's a lot if it's somebody that you know, and everybody knows somebody with cancer.
The only reason I ask that is because we've never really heard of men getting breast
Bubba
cancer.
Smith, there's very few public figures, guys that you know who've had it.
That's the only reason I'm asking.
No, right, and because
even 1% is too much, obviously, and you should.
I think
take care
so.
of yourself.
Since I was one of the percent,
right.
And I think now that I'm out there, kind of spreading the word. Hopefully, a guy will go in. I did a recent sign-in. A kid came up to me, and I say kid, and he got it at 17, and he was 20, and he's 3 years with it. And I couldn't believe a 17-year-old kid could get breast cancer. I mean, it blew my mind. I really, I had to hold myself in to not break down, because he felt alienated, and there's such a stigma on pink. And pink's great, but we have to, I'm trying at least, and I'm only one voice, as to try to get guys hip to this.
I asked, and just to explain, like I live in Manhattan, and they had the walk on Saturday or Sunday, and it was all pink, and it was all women. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah.
You don't see the men marching for breast cancer.
One thing you said about that, too, which made me happy, was you said that the feeling in your nipple came back. And I'm big on nipple play, so I was really happy. That was a tremendous relief that the nipple feeling comes back.
Yeah, you're funny. Here's what I did. I actually used that because some guys they really don't get it. And so when couples would come up to me, I figured, let me get around this, and what could I say? So I was, let your lady check you. You could check her. This could lead into lots of good things.
Right.
Now, us being men, immediately we think, oh, great boobs. And so, they all got it. But it was I thought, a kind of sick way to get it across that men get it. But by the immediate sex touching, oh, I'm all for that. Now, that's
until she wants to start checking prostate.
Or other places.
Yeah. Hey, I read the book, and I got to say, honestly, like from what you're talking about even now with the cancer and everything that led up to it, it's honestly, it's the most brutally honest, rock biography I've ever read, autobiography.
Yes, the other cancer in the book, Gene Simmons. Let's talk about. That's pretty much how it.
You guys, it never changes.
Well, we've had our history with Gene
I
over
was
the years.
excited today that I was going to be here with you guys. You guys are great.
We've had our history with Gene.
Yeah.
It is.
So have I.
He's an interesting fellow.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
We
to
were
say the
reading
least.
quotes from the book because you say things that people don't say in books, and it was so nice to read somebody being brutally honest, like this particular quote, which I read one earlier. This is a different one. It's just about how you felt on the reunion tour. It was so irritating to hear Gene say, "You're working for me now, and you'll do as I say, or you'll be fired, just like any other employee." I wanted to cut his throat from ear to ear. If he said that to me back in the day, I would have taken a bottle and smashed it across his forehead.
You think I'm from Brooklyn?
Oh, dude.
God, that's hilarious.
But who knew that of all the members of KISS, you were the one that would pick up a bat? Like, I was amazed to read your earlier history before the band. What a fucking tough...
Did you see me on Oz with a bat?
I actually didn't. I didn't see that. I went and watched it on YouTube after I read the book.
We used to have a thing, that the four of us could say what we want to say about each other brutally. No one else could. And I felt I had the total right to be brutally about this. And I was not any easier on myself than I was on anybody else that I wrote about. I was just as brutal about what I would go through or what I did in my antics because I'm an honest guy. I believe we all put our pants on the same. We all feel the same. I grew up in an Irish Catholic family in 4 rooms. I did not grow up rich. I grew up in a really poor neighborhood. Making guns was fun. I made a lot of extra money doing that. Nobody knows half of my life, and I'm finding people are more excited about the beginning of my life and of Brooklyn and growing up in gangs and getting to it than the KISS years. And that makes me happy because I really wanted to get that across of my life more than a typical KISS book. Yeah, of course I started the band, and yes, it was a great time of my life, but my childhood was a great time. But Catholic school was an amazing thing for me. I hated it, but that's how it was then, and it was really a brutal education. So I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to just play my drums all day.
You opened the book, and this was amazing. You opened the book talking. It was '94. And you're in the earthquake in California.
Northridge.
And can you describe what was kind of happening at that moment? Because it was a very depressing opening. And you also talk about having a large sum of money on the wall behind a picture, which I thought was...
Behind an armoire.
Oh, it was an armoire. Okay. What exactly was happening there?
It's funny. A lot of rock stars probably won't admit it. I was down to $100,000 to my name. I'm talking a lot of money.
10 to 12 million.
Easily 20-something million.
Wow.
And I went through a divorce. I owed the IRS all of a sudden $3 million that came out of nowhere from a 70-something thing that we put money in a coal shelter. Later on, it came back and it was only $400,000 then, but later on it came back to $3 million with penalties or else they keep it.
God.
So there's another problem I got. My family now, I don't have my daughter anymore with me as I had every day of my life. My wife marries my attorney.
Right.
How bad can it? It sounds like a soap opera, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I couldn't make this up for you. I couldn't come up with this stuff. And the earthquake, and so I fought also the Star magazine. If you guys remember, I went to the tabloid stuff. Some guy sleeping in the toilets of Santa Monica. I don't think so, but it was.
What happened? He said he was you.
Yeah, and it was right after my mother died. So I was going through really hell with my mother just passing on. We were extremely close, and the earthquake came, and the day after the earthquake, I went to see my doctor, and I got carjacked, and some guy. I mean, it just didn't end. Broke my face, the side of my face, with brass knuckles. I was in some section of L.A. Everything was chaotic from the earthquake. Black guy came around my car, punches me in the face, wanted the car, couldn't open up the safety belt, and tilted. I have 6 screws in my face holding up my whole bone here and the whole side of my cheek. And I wasn't aware of it. How I drove home, I don't know.
And you had a pistol at that time.
I had a lot of pistols. And and I woke up, went back, saw him, then finally got back home. And when I came back to my home, it was shambles. It was just My albums were broken. Whatever I had left of them, my crystal, whatever I had of that from the marriage was broken. The toilets blew up. There was water. There was dirt everywhere. Nothing was working. My clothes collapsed. And I felt that's how my life I felt was. There was just nothing left for me. And I took out my .357 Magnum and I put it in my mouth. And I thought I'd check out. And at that moment, I looked over and I saw a picture of my daughter on top of a dresser, which was the only thing still standing. And there was a light on it. And I believe it was God. It's a way of telling me you got to be an idiot to do this. And I didn't. And I thought that would be a great way to open up the book. At my lowest point of my life, I felt that would be a great way to open it, because then you go on the journey of how I survived through all that. And it was really scary.
And I was amazed you didn't, too. You had a pistol in the car, and the guy hit you. And in the book, you go through this thought process of
which is amazing for me, because usually I would have just put up and put one in him. But, and I had a right to, because when I told the police, they said, "Jesus, we would have loved to see you shoot him if you could have found him." But I didn't. Yeah, and for some reason, I got a clarity came over me that this is all you need, is to now go out of this car and go up to this guy and shoot him. And now you got that problem beside everything else you got in your life. And I didn't. And I believe it was God's way of talking to me. I'm a very heavy Catholic kid. I do believe in God. I believe in miracles, because I've had, I don't know how many cat lives I have left, maybe 4. But I've been close to death a few times, quite a few times. And I become now much more, I guess you do become more religious maybe when the Grim Reaper's at your door. And through my cancer battle, and every day above ground, my dad used to say, is a good day. And I look at life now as every day is really a blessing to be where I am in my life.
So you almost got carjacked. You had your last $100,000 in the trunk.
That's it, man. I had it on the back of the ammo, on the sock, or a box hidden. I grabbed it because that's all I had. I took my gun, put it in my sweatpants, and put a robe on and ran out in the street, and it looked like the end of the world. The streets were opening. Johnny pumps were blowing through the air. People were screaming. It was like a movie, man. It was like 9/11 again. It was like looking at that. It was so surreal. It was unbelievable. We don't have earthquake, guys. We're New Yorkers.
Yeah.
We don't see that. You can't. You see it on television, but when you're in one, it's really spooky.
How far into Kiss 2 did you start to? Because again, back, I grew up. So many people on Kiss, and you had no idea this stuff was going on internally as a fan. How far into this process did you start to realize, like, this is going to be a fight, or there's going to be problems with a couple of the other members?
3-4 years, 5, 5, yeah, I could start feeling the wanting. The power started coming. The more we were going up the ladder of fortune and fame, the more it was kind of swaying to Mr. Simmons and Stanley, that Ace and I were kind of not getting our musical songs in. It's funny, I wrote the biggest hit in the damn band. And meanwhile, I was kind of always getting put down for this stuff. So it was a battle. It was always a battle. And then eventually I didn't get the great education that maybe the other 2 guys got. So they would start playing mind games. I don't like games. I like genuine guys. I like real people that tell me like it is, no matter how much it hurts. And I don't like to be messed with. And they would constantly batter. They called it battering, if you read Gene's book, Battering My Brain. And let me tell you, it takes its toll. I feel today I'm still a casualty of war, of rock and roll wars, because it turns that every day was a battle for one thing or another, for some kind of running the band or being the guy at the head of the band. And eventually they got their way, and I was miserable with it.
And you guys start out as good friends, right?
I thought so. I thought we were pretty much brothers in arms. Right. I thought we all wanted the same thing. We all wanted to do the same thing. We all wanted the same road of success.
Sure.
But that changed immensely, and I realized even when I met them, they had a deal with some band, and they dumped the band because it wasn't their way. That should have gave me an immediate, lights on, and that's the same thing started happening as we would roll along, and now they got their way.
And didn't like you and Ace were more like kind of like the fucking hardcore rock guys, and they were more kind of going into the more cartoonish stuff, or like, I know you talked about Kiss meets the Phantom. which, you know, apparently you're not a huge fan of that process.
Did you hear? You read I was drunk pretty much the whole book.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe we got to that point where now we're wrestling with Frankenstein and the Wolfman. You know, we're a rock band. First we're singing about looking for chicks and how great, you know, rock is, and every parent's hated us, and we were going, that's the right track, 'cause that's great rock and roll. And next thing, we're in a movie with Bela Lugosi and Frankenstein, and I hated it. I hated it. This is not the idea for me of where we were going. And it was going Vegas. It was going more and more. We were turning into a Vegas act. I wanted out. I was... And Ace, you know, he and I would have done anything for him. I stuck up for him through all the years. I was in his corner. Gene used to tell him, you know, the best friend you got in this band is Peter Criss. He'll always be there for you. And it broke my heart when he broke my heart in the book I mentioned, and I won't tell the story, but towards the reunion, towards the end, I was devastated, man. I couldn't believe what went on. And it was again about the old M-O-N-E-Y, the money, 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 power, power, power. It's like it never was enough for those guys. And I'm a rock and roller, man. I picked up drums because I wanted to just play music and someday maybe get a little gold 45, have a little picket fence house and take care of my mom and dad. That's all I ever wanted. After the Garden, that was my dream, was to play there for my parents. Everything was cream. You know, everything was good. I didn't know the addiction problems. It was the 60s and 70s. You go to your manager, he had stuff. You go to the record company, they had
You would get coke from
drugs.
all these guys?
Everybody. My lawyers, my business people. I couldn't find a straight guy to tell him, you know, I'm miserable. I'm going through hell. This is turning on me. I'm not enjoying this anymore.
Does it make you question your legal representation when they have coke?
Oh, yeah.
That's not a good sign in a lawyer who's fucking better coke than your
You know
manager.
what I'm saying? Or your manager and everybody else, you know, you're sitting there. Or your business guys. I always think these guys had suits. They went to college. They're well educated. I must be in good hands. I'm okay. And they were all drunk, and they were all doing blow and drinking scotch at all our board meetings. And we were drawing cartoons like idiots. And the money was going right out the door, and we weren't even paying attention.
Can you say what Paul would draw? Because I was pretty amazed at that. Everybody would do little sketches, and what Paul.
I could have said that. You could read that. That's pretty heavy.
Oh,
I think
you should tell.
I don't want to give it away. No, come on. I don't want to do that.
All right, let's just say
you do that. You could do it.
All right, let's just say apparently Paul would sketch certain anatomical parts. Really accurately. And really well.
All right.
And how often? Let's just say, how often was this like a once in a while thing? These sketches?
No, these are all the time sketches. You know, and then and of course I wanted to get out and party and get out of the meeting. We were kids. Who wanted to sit around with a bunch of guys with suits talking about investing in this, and investing in that, and invest. The only thing we wanted to invest in was girls, and rock and roll, and have a great time.
And you don't have to worry about blowing any stories. There's every page has a fucking home run on it. There's nothing you're going to say here that's going to make people go, well, I know the whole story.
Oh, you guys kill me.
Believe me, there's nothing you're going to do to blow. This fucking book is so revealing, and it's the honesty behind the emotion.
Thank you so much.
You don't dance around being very angry at these guys for
There's
fucking
anger.
you.
No, I'm still angry. I'm working on that. I'm working on forgive to live. I'm working on the anger. I feel again still a casualty of rock and roll, and yeah, there's anger. But you know, if you read it, I'm as hard on me and as brutal on me as I would be on you if you were in the band. I didn't give myself any breaks. I talk of my cocaine addiction, how it made me a madman, how I went absolutely out of my mind. I talk about John Belushi and I's friendship, how it broke my heart, what went on with John. I talk about, I don't give myself any room if I'm not going to give you room. I'm a Brooklyn kid. I grew up, I think the truth, sometimes people would rather hear a lie than hear the truth. And I was not going to play around with this. I said, if I'm going to do this and people like yourself, they're going to read it, I'm not going to get caught in a lie or fabricate how many women I'm going to tell you the truth so I could live with myself and look in the mirror in the morning.
You know what my favorite truth in the book was? And this was something I had always suspected, that Ace has a giant cock. That I always knew.
He's German, you know.
Because his hands bend. He can't even play the guitar with his fucking giant hands. I'm like, he's all cock. He has to be. And I'm so happy you confirmed that. I was like, well, I am
How
fucking...
big we talking, Jimmy?
I don't know.
Peter, how big we talking?
Yeah, what do you think Ace was packing?
I'd say he's 8.
8?
Maybe 9.
But you said he was very wide.
But he's very, yeah.
Girthy.
He's girthy. He's healthy.
And I was so happy to hear that. But Peter had to mention that he got Ace by length. He said I was the longest, Ace was the thickest. It really made me kind of, that was a real, of all the things you said in the book, that's the biggest knife in the stomach to the other guys. It's the fucking, I had length, he had girth. And those two had characters. And could you at least just say what, because Gene, I guess, was really weird about certain things, and what you and Ace would do to Gene while he was sitting there putting his makeup on?
Well, we kind of put them on his shoulder. You know, I mean, at this part of our lives, it was a constant erection. I mean, everything. You didn't need any Viagra, trust me. And we would sit and get bored, because it would be, back in our day, was you work. You do an album, you go out and push the album. Back in the radio days, that's what you did. It was there was we didn't have computers, you didn't have the internet, so you constantly recorded, you constantly toured with the album, and that's all we ever did. Out of boredom, one night I was making up and I got an erection, and I said, I'll go over to Gene and put this on his shoulder. and so he was making up, and also he kind of looks at it. Oh, and he freaks out. And then Ace got the idea, and so Ace came over and put it on his other shoulder. And so he's like, oh, you guys. But he didn't really freak out and throw us away and push us away.
Right.
Not that I'm indicating anything, but he actually, after a while, I think got a really big kick out of this little game we would play with him. We never did it to Paul.
No, why not?
I don't know.
Just because I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, my
Jesus.
God.
I mean, we just didn't. He was not as much. Paul's a very. You don't want to mess with Paul in certain ways, and he's just not as. Gene was much more funnier to have fun with that stuff than Paul was. He was not into carrying on with that. He didn't like it, so we stayed away from it.
How annoyed were they? Because one of the most famous interviews you guys ever did was the Tom Snyder one. And you mentioned in the book how that's the first time me and Ace kind of took over. And it was very entertaining, and it was very funny, and you watched Gene and Paul getting very angry. What was the mood like after that interview, which was, I thought, fantastic?
I did, too. When we got to the dressing room, Ace passed out immediately, hit the couch. I still kept laughing about it because we had such a great time. We finally had a great time at an interview. We finally enjoyed ourselves. I knew how pissed off they were. That made it even better because they didn't finally get to take over the interview and take over this. As always, take over. And Gene loves to hear himself talk, so he didn't get a chance to do that. And I knew we really got them PO'd because we did take over. And Tom had the best time, I think, of his life. It's considered one of the best talk shows, the band in the history we ever did. And I had a ball. Tom came in and said, I want to thank you guys. I had the best time of my life. Where's Ace? And he saw him on the floor. He said, when he wakes up, tell him I love him. He sent me a great picture and said, I love your hands, man. I'd like to see your tin toys one day. And they were furious. And I got a feeling then we should do this more often because we got so much feedback from the fans. It's about time you and Ace spoke up, and we enjoyed it so much that we tried, but it still was always a fight to get supremacy of anything in that band.
You felt like those guys were kind of teaming up on you, or
yeah, sure, absolutely. It was, rock and roll. This is what kills me, is an attitude to me. Rock and roll has an attitude. There's no science. It doesn't come out of books. You can't study it. You're it, or you're not. You take that attitude with you. That's why I love the Dolls. I love the Ramones. I love bands that were real rock and roll bands. I still do. and I felt I was that way. It wasn't a science. I didn't want to sell coffins. I didn't care about toys. I just wanted to make records and rock an audience and have a great time. That's why I took up the instrument. There was a science with them. We were a band, not a brand. I don't buy that. We were not a brand. We were 4 guys looking to make it. Dyed our hair blue black in a bathtub in the Village one day with the great Sean Delaney, rest his soul, and. We all had the same, again, where we wanted to go. Money and power, man, really changes things.
And it fucks things up, right?
Yeah, it does. And I didn't grow up with it. And we had my family a hell of a lot of love, and we really cared for one another. And we were very tight Italian-Irish family. I used to walk to school for 12 blocks. I think they were a lot different than we were, Ace and I. Ace was a Bronx kid. He was very crazy. He had a crazy way about him, and I gyrated to him because I want to have fun too. I thought that's what rock and roll was. Girls
don't take yourself so seriously.
Drinking. It's not a serious thing. It's a fun thing. You get up there, you play as loud as you can, and have a great time. And I still feel that way about the music.
Do you think it bugs those guys that you had what became the biggest song in the history of the band? I mean, and this was, 76 was Destroyer?
Yeah.
The band was already huge, and it wasn't even the first single released. Didn't they want to B-side it on Detroit Rock City or something?
They did B-side.
Oh, they did B-side.
And thank God.
People start flipping the record over.
I should have his name. I should know it by immediately.
Scott Shannon?
Yes.
Oh.
Got it, and he was wondering. I should know these things.
Yeah.
Turned it over and said, "Let me see what this song sounds like."
Good for him.
The phone never stopped ringing off the hook, and Destroyer was sinking. By the way, the album was not. It was not doing well. It was really going down the tubes, and Beth got us on the radio, got airplay, took the album up to go platinum, double platinum. And the rest was.
Wait, I got to ask.
They never came to my face. They never told me to my face that they hated the fact I wrote the biggest hit in the band. But I indicated that when they were sitting in the console room and I was doing the first vocals for it, and they were making funny faces and laughing at me. And,
oh, man.
And acting like they were crying because it was the worst thing. And Ezrin threw them out. He said, "Get the hell out of my studio. I want to do this song. I think this is a great, great song for you guys."
But a lot of guys in your camp didn't realize the potential of this song, which is unbelievable to me.
I didn't either.
You really didn't?
No, I didn't. I just was happy to get a song finally in the band. I always was kind of shunned with that, and so was the other guy. And I always kept trying to get a song, and finally I got the first ballot, and again they tried to bury it, but that didn't work out.
Gene said, and I read, I think your account's a little bit. How long is that clip? It's
a minute. You got a minute there, Peter?
Yeah. Is this accurate?
I got all day.
Is this accurate or no?
Yeah, Gene Simmons. We asked about Beth.
Can you hear this? Wait till we play it.
Peter was sitting with me in the limo. We were driving to Flint, Michigan. It's a true story. And we were going to go do a show. 2 shows sold out. It was a big deal in the 1800s. And, Peter can't write songs. It was his friend Stan Penridge and a guy named Bob Ezrin who produced. But anyway, Peter got writing credit. And he goes, "Beck, I hear you calling. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum." I go, "What's that? What's that thing?" He goes, "I wrote this." "Come on, you didn't write this. Stan Penridge wrote it." "Yeah, and it goes like this. Beck, I hear you calling." That's pretty good. You should sing it to Bob Ezrin, our producer. Give me that fucking thing. I should give it to Bob Ezrin, our producer, because he might like it. It could be on our next record and stuff. Destroyer. Really? Yeah, but the Beck thing doesn't work. Beck, I hear you calling. You should get rid of that. How about Beth? Otherwise, they'll think you're in love with Jeff Beck. Because Beck was for Becky. Beck, I hear you calling. So it didn't work. Beck, I hear you. So I suggested he get rid of the k and Beth, I hear you. That sounds better. And that's the story of Beth. But he didn't write it.
Now,
Peter doesn't play a musical instrument. He's a sweet guy. We love him. But it's a guy named Stan Penridge, and Bob Ezrin wrote the middle section.
Have you ever told this story before?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I hope we make some headlines today.
Scoop?
Why not?
There you go. That was
Yeah,
Gene
that was,
Simmons from
that's
2008.
No. What are you going to do with him?
What are you going to do with him? Well,
put him back on that reality show, right? Another facelift. I wrote the song with Stan. We wrote it in '69 about a guitar player's wife who kept calling the studio, kept calling rehearsal because she wanted to talk to him. Her name is Rebecca. We did it for jokes, so we wrote Beck. We hear you calling, can't come home right now. I was in a limo with Gene. We were together. I knew he'd hate the song because Kiss don't do ballads. That's what he used to say. So I spruced it up, and I played on his leg, and I sang the song in an up-tempo. He had nothing to do with the title. Bob Ezrin, I sat next to him finally behind a baby grand when he was getting ready to do the album. I sang it to him. He said, "I love it. Let's get the Philharmonic." I said, "You got to be kidding me. Like the New York Philharmonic's going to play on my song?" I said, "No, absolutely. We need to do a great arrangement. We need to do a big arrangement on this. But I don't like the title. It's ridiculous. We need to change the title." I said, "But what do you want to change it to? Anything you want to change it to?" Once he said New York Philharmonic, my song was, I would have done anything. And he said, "I think Beth would be a great name for this song." And I said, "Deal, fine." And so Bob took the song, absolutely. He went in, he arranged that great arrangement. We came back to sing it, and those two fools sat in the console room laughing. Until today, they could laugh and say, "I can't write." But I still wrote the biggest song. I won a People's Choice Award for it. And every other song I think I wrote was pretty damn good. I did more solo albums than those guys ever did. Whether they didn't sell maybe millions of records. But I consider myself a damn good songwriter. And I think and I'll still say I have the best voice in the band. I always had the most rock and roll voice. It's not bragging, but I believe that. The man's out of his mind. He always has been. If he could put a television in front of his face and two things, he would be happy to talk to himself all day. I nicknamed him Professor Dope. Why would I nickname a man Professor Dope? For a guy who's calling me this. We get into, I said this, I said that. In my book, I mentioned they were Machiavellians. These guys are major trippers about power. I got the power. And when we got back, I felt like I started General Motors with all of us, and next thing I'm working for General Motors. And they're making me know that. Trust me, dude. Every day I felt belittled. I was treated like a second-hand citizen. No, it was brutal. And if not, that I didn't. And I'll say it, I needed the money. I was down at that point in my life.
For the reunion, you mean?
Absolutely. And I prayed to God real hard for a second chance. And when it came, I knew that was the second chance. I knew we were going to make a lot of money. And I shaped up immediately. I did everything I had to do, was told to do, and did it. I never got stoned on that whole tour ever. I stopped doing that back in '82 when I went to a rehab. I did what I had to do to make it work. And it was brutal. It was not easy every day to see these guys sitting around like now they're the big shots and the kings of the band. And all of a sudden now I'm reading write-ups that Ace and I were drunks and drug addicts. And that wasn't the first reason why I left the band. It was like we had, I think it was artist indifferences, and they had other better words. But the minute they owned it and got it, then they could slap us in the face.
Can I ask you, because you had a 25% share of the band, all you guys, and even when you left, you got a quarter of the band, which probably fucking drove them nuts.
Yeah, it did.
How did you lose that? Because I wasn't clear on that. And what happened? Did you just sign the wrong paperwork and all of a sudden it was gone?
Yeah, bad lawyers, bad under the bus. Trust again. I'm a kid who I trust people. I wear my
took advantage.
I wear my heart on the sleeve.
Who would give up 25%? They obviously took advantage of you in a weak spot.
I believe so. I wasn't paying attention. I definitely would over my dead body. Yeah, over my dead body. So no, I wasn't paying attention. I was signing things because my lawyer said it was a good thing. My manager at the time said it was a good thing.
Was he in cahoots with these guys?
Absolutely. I had the same manager Ace had. I had the same lawyer Ace had. That right there was insanity. You can't usually have the same lawyers.
Right, yeah. Sure.
No one didn't say, and I should have paid attention. I wasn't paying attention. I was paying more attention to relearning Kiss, because it was 17 years since I played that stuff. I was out of the ballpark. It was really tough for me. I hated me that I had to learn my drumming again because it was so technical. I couldn't believe how technical it was. And so I had to relearn all of that. I had no time to think about lawyers and business managers and this. I trusted all these guys that were working for me. I believed they had my heart and my best interests, and they didn't.
How hard was it to go from arenas to some of the slimmer solo years where, like, there was times where, you know, things were looking good and you were doing some tours, and then you tell stories and hear about, well, you'll get to this place and there's 50 people waiting for you, or there's 100 people in the club, and what type of mentality does that put you in when you're going through this kind of valley?
It was it was the lowest for me. I mean, but although it saved my life, this band, little band, they were young guys. They were happy as hell to tour with me. I was a big star as far as they were concerned in their eyes. And again, I went through my divorce. I went through my face problem. I still was going through a lot of pain. I had a chump little record deal on a label called TNT. I figured at least it's an album. We got an old Eagle. We got on it and we toured. And by working and by playing, it at least eased my pain of not being with my wife and daughter anymore, not having that kind of life I was used to. And I was still playing drums, though, and that alone saved me for wanting to hang in there and do my thing. But it was horrifying. We once played a place called the Sandbox, and it was. They actually filled the floor with sand from a beach. And so when I got there, one behind the drums, which is on a plank of a little floor, and they started dancing, there was so much junk in the air and sand that you couldn't breathe. And I got back in the bus, and I probably drank 25 Rolling Rocks and drank myself to sleep. I was miserable. It was a really lean, hard time in my life. Getting back again with them, they knew it. They knew I was easy pickings. You could see it all over my face. You could tell my demeanor was down. I was still, my eye was still pretty much down here. I had to get surgery. So they had me right where they wanted me, right. And I guess Ace too, but I won't speak for him.
There are some, and let me give you book signing plugs too. Peter is signing today, Tuesday at 12:30. The book comes out today. It's the Barnes & Noble here in Manhattan on 5th Avenue and 46th. That's a good big bookstore, so get there. There will be availability, and you get to get your book signed by Peter. And then tomorrow, if you're in Jersey, it's Bookends. It's that great independent bookstore, which is, again, there's a huge downstairs. If it rains, there's plenty of room to be inside. You get your book signed there. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., so you can go right after work. And then Saturday, this coming Saturday, 7 o'clock, the Monmouth Mall in Eatontown. So he's going to hit South Jersey a little bit, and there's a Barnes & Noble there. So there's 3 chances in this area to meet Peter and get your book signed. And just to finalize and say, there's so much we couldn't cut. There's the fucking... the mafia involvement, there's so much shit in this book that there's no way to do it justice in a 30-minute interview. And I'm not even just saying this because I love you. I can't recommend this book high enough.
What about the hug?
Well, I don't want to ask Pete.
You got to hear this, Peter. You got to hear this.
I have to hear the tape. I can hear it.
This is a good one.
When I was a kid, and Paul did not like this story. When I was a kid, you guys were my heroes, of course. I mean, my you were larger than life. So I would have this really recurring fantasy that Kiss would show up to my house and beat me and hurt me and throw me down the stairs and then hug me and love me and make me all better.
How stupid is that? So all he's looking for is a hug.
I don't know why.
Just to bring it all together, maybe. It's like the circle of life.
Thanks, Peter.
There's a great hug right there.
The final member I got my hug from.
He's got a hug from every single one of you guys now.
Paul did it on 57th Street under duress.
I think he was forced by Kenny or somebody.
Yeah, give him a hug.
There might have been guns involved. I don't know, Peter. But you did it willingly.
You know what's great, though? I'm proud because, I mean, Scribner's not chump. This is really a great book company.
Yes.
I'm pushing it because I'm really proud that I did a book and I did it with the best. I mean, they've been behind me all the way. Everything I wanted in it, they had no problem with that. It was like, I said, as long as it's honest and it's what it is, they put it, we took out a lot of F's. I don't believe how much I say that word. You're saying it today.
I say it a lot, yeah.
For some reason, when I'm online, I don't say it. Something clicks in. But we took out 1 million easily. But there was other stories that they were all, whatever you want, Peter, we just want the book for you to be happy with, and it was a 2.5-year process. But you know what, man, I'm so happy about this that I finally can say what I wanted to say, because the guys, like I say, Simmons got a big mouth, the other guys got mouth. They seem to always feeling the power tripping part, and I always felt the lower of the demeanor now. And I finally, at 66, I'm at an age now where I'll be 67 this December. I battled with cancer. My wife had cancer also, and she battled with it, and we're both survivors. I adopted a cat recently from a shelter named Fanny, and she was sick. It cost me $3,000 to fix her. I love looking at this animal sleeping with her whole body on my thing. So my life has become my wife, myself, and my cat. I have other plans to do in life. I want to kind of do some more things, but I'm at a stage now I'm a lot mellower, a lot happy with myself, and I'm glad I could do this book, and the fans could really read my side of the story of what the band was about.
You're not going to start collecting a lot of cats, are you?
It would be a hoarder.
Okay,
this
just
cat's
one,
enough.
right?
One's enough,
okay.
man.
Because it starts with one. Next thing you know, there's 20 in your
No,
apartment.
here's the best part. She hates cats.
All right.
She hates other cats.
All
So,
right, so
it's
you're
an
good.
impossibility.
I don't want to
I'm all
think that
good.
Peter Criss is collecting
No,
cats.
man. No.
Okay.
I don't want a lot of cats.
Can I give a really good tease to buy this book to finish with?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this. There is one story where Peter's getting blown. And it seems to me like somebody helped out. Wow.
Oh. No, I don't know that. They were under the blankets.
Absolutely,
remember?
and who needs to get sued? But let's just say it was holy fucking shit. The fucking single biggest, forgive the pun, blow me away thing I read in this book.
That knocked you out, that story?
Oh my God, because
it didn't at the time for me. I found it interesting.
Oh shit!
You got two people under the blankets under there. You don't know what's going on.
I know that, but one of them. Wow.
But we can never prove that because I don't know.
Absolutely, there was a blanket
going
involved.
on. There was a blanket,
knows? Right? Who knows? And that's a tough one to sell in court. Like, you're not going to be able to find her again and to confirm it. Like, what did you think? There was two tongues, of course.
Wow. Connie's famous. She was a famous girl.
Wow.
And I'm not bullshitting. Wow. Fucking absolutely floored me.
I'm bringing this book home.
Peter Criss.
I don't bring the books home, Peter. Every once in a while. This one I'm bringing home.
I think you'll get a hell of a roller coaster ride on this.
Nice.
Make up to break up. I cannot oversell this book. Peter will be on my Boneyard show for a little bit tonight, but I'm so happy you came in. I love you. I love you very much.
Love you too, man. You guys are the best.
Come back and see us, Peter.
Yeah, I will. You guys always open your door for me, and that's so cool. Really, being a New Yorker, you guys are New Yorkers. It's
great.
It's nice. It's nice to be like home. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
man. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.